Spurs have won 1-0 away at Watford. It's New Year's Day. New Year's Days don't come like this, do they, Phil?
No.
So a great day all round. I am going to start this. I forgot to say to Ben, who is in the background, I did promise people we are waiting to hear from the doctors regarding Bob. During the time that we've been off air, I have heard from Kim and Tam regarding Bob's update. So I'll just fill you in a bit more things before I actually read what's going on. So what's been happening with Bob is when he is laying on his stomach, his oxygen levels have been going down quite well because obviously it's relieving the pressure on his back. But as soon as they put him on his back, the oxygen levels spike right up, like into the 80s, 90s, and even higher. So whenever they do that, they've had to obviously relieve him straight away and put him on his stomach. He's currently on his back, but we've been waiting for a call from the doctors, and we got it. So I'm just going to read this very quickly. And it's basically not much of an update, I'm afraid. Lovely doctor has spoken with myself and Kim. This is from Tam. He's had a chest x-ray today and all the tubes, etc. okay. He has had a heart scan to check his left chamber as it is overly muscular. His heart valve he had replaced is good and his heart is pumping blood well, which is a relief in itself, really. Still sedated and ventilated with oxygen still around the same as earlier. And like I said, when he's on his back, it shoots up. And when it's on his stomach, it goes down to like, I think we've got it down to as low as 60, I believe. But don't quote me on that. They may, however, prone him again today because his oxygen levels have shot up because he's on his back. Regarding the infection that he may have, he is on the strongest antibiotics for any infection, which is also good news. Not much of an update, we know, but he's stable, which I know for me is better than having something being hearing negative news. So fingers crossed for a better update tomorrow. So that is currently where we are at with Bob. So Tams and Kim are watching, so please send their love and well wishes to Bob in the chat. But let's now talk some happy things. Obviously, it was a very, very tough game today. A very, very excruciatingly painful game at some point, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it was. We looked in control without ever really creating anything, and then you suddenly get to 85 minutes. There's an issue in the crowd.
Yep.
We're looking at 100 minutes plus, thinking it can't get any worse. It can't get any worse, and then up pops Mr. Sanchez.
My man, Davinson Sanchez. So people have heard our views all day. I think we should start getting people on, and I am very, very honoured to be doing this. I am very, very honoured to be saying the icon, the legend, the man himself, the person that is always first, everybody's favourite grandpa is first on. Grandpa.
I'm really, really well. I think Ben should have been coming on first, but somebody said he's looking a bit old. If you compare that with me at 85, I think I don't think he looks old at all.
What I will say is muzzle tough to you as well with your grandsons hitting this phenomenal achievement today.
Brilliant. It's brilliant. But it was my prediction they would do it this year. They thought the end of January.
So you won the bet.
I won the bet. I don't know how much they owe me, but probably a good number of pounds.
Be a forfeit.
Exactly. Happy New Year to you, Grandpa, as well. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you, and to all of you, and to all the 100,000 that are watching us.
Exactly. So, what were your thoughts, Grandpa, on the game?
I thought it was on our part. It was pretty mediocre. I thought we haven't got the ability to get around these big guys. We've got the small guys there, and Mora and Son. They should have been getting around them, and they should have been taking more risks. They weren't. They were trying to hit from a long way, and they weren't getting into the right place. I thought when it was only for a little while, but when Brian Gill came on, that made a bit of difference because he does get around them, and he does move, and he does take risks, and I thought that made a difference. For me, the man of the match had to be Kane. I thought he created lots of chances. He missed as well, but he created chances, and he was really playing better than most.
Yep.
I like Holbier as well. I thought Holbier played well, and Royale played pretty good as well. But I think Kane really takes that particular win. I think against when we played against Liverpool, we had so many more chances than we had this time. And sorry, my wife's just arrived home. On the line, Jack. Yeah, that was my view. I thought that's what I was going to say. Was against Liverpool, I think the whole team played well.
Yep.
This time, the whole team played mediocre.
No, you're right. I mean, you mentioned Emerson Royale. That he had a hell of a lot on the ball in the first half again, didn't he? But I feel his final delivery needs work again, doesn't it? Crystal Palace, it had improved, and today it looked a little bit off key again, didn't it?
Yeah. But look, let's just go on the positives. We won, and we've either won or drawn with every game that Conte's been there. And he's got a big fight now to come off with 2 games against Chelsea. That'll be interesting. So, we do seem to do better against better teams.
Well, that's true. I mean, we were very hard to break them down. But I was saying to Phil just before we came on the instant reaction, Grandpa, do you reckon the Spurs players get more confidence from grounding out a 1-0 last-minute victory as opposed to like a comfortable 3-4-0 win going into the Chelsea game?
I think that I would put it this way. I think they learn more from that the 1-0 at the last minute. I think they're learning all the time. And I think the thing about Conte, he learns as well all the time. He learns how they should be played. So I think when they have a badish experience like today, they will learn a lot. And you'll see Conte build a different sort of attack when we play another team which has got such a good defence.
Yeah, also what I'm finding very, very refreshing is obviously Conte is using his substitutions well, isn't he? We've had managers before where it's been very reactive as opposed to proactive, but Conte has kind of rewrote the record books with this, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he doesn't overdo it. He doesn't bring them on too early. He's getting the teams to work as a team all the time, and I think he's really, really good from that point of view.
Did you agree with the substitutions that he made today?
Yeah, I would have brought Brian Gill on before I would have brought Conte on.
Conte come on. I'd love Conte to come on. That would be a boss in the midfield.
The Celso?
Yeah, the Celso. I mean, I'd like to have seen Celso start, in fact. But I thought it was pretty obvious to me that they needed somebody like Gill that was going to move in front and get round people and take chances and take risks. And I think he's a guy to really watch for us. I think he's gonna be the first team player before very long.
And you reckon as well, Grandpa, with Ndombele not even getting one of those 3 substitutes, do you reckon this may be an indication with him and Ali that they may be looking to get them out the door?
I get that feeling. I mean, he's given Ali some good opportunities, and he hasn't really made it. I don't think so. And I think it probably can still get a reasonable sum of money for him. So I would go. And of course, Ndombele was a good big price, wasn't it? We paid for him.
Correct.
He's an enigma because he does some absolute magic sometimes, and other times he does some diabolical things. And I think Conte will go for somebody that is more steady, more reliable, rather than somebody that's up 1 minute and down another minute. I think what he needs is, what he'll work for is something that continually is good. And, always, like everything else, just build on the positives and not go with the negatives. And he's got negatives there. Let's get them out and get more positive people in.
I think you're right there. I think when he was talking about Harry Winks, Conte said he's a player that you can trust.
Yes.
And that for me speaks absolute volumes. I think it clearly shows over the last few games that was calling out for an Ndombele that he doesn't trust him, and if you don't trust somebody, he's not going to get a look in. So I think you're right. I think that kind of spells the end for Tanguy.
So Tanguy, I think that I mean, he's a young guy. I don't know about him, but you're telling me John Bennett. You've not let me Tandanga.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ndombele. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a shame though, because he's got such magic in his legs. But well, you don't know yet that whether Conte can't get him on board, but he will know. And I think the one person I trust at the moment is Conte.
Yeah.
I trust his decisions. I trust the way he's doing things, and I look forward to seeing him keep us there and become be fourth.
One thing I'm really interested to find out from you, Grandpa, what's your take on Heung-min Son form at the moment?
On which? Sorry?
On Son's form. It wasn't a very... all right, he's got the assist, but he just doesn't look... I don't know if he's because he's absolutely shattered. I don't know if it's the new formation. He's maybe not just fitting in. What have you thought of Son over the last few games?
Again, I would say mediocre, but I do believe he has tremendous ability and a tremendous speed. And I wouldn't part with him at all.
Oh,
I think Conte will bring him out and find the right position for him. But his position actually moves with Kane. Wherever Kane is, then that's where Son's going to be on his left, because they've got to know each other so well. And he made some good tries. What was disappointing, there was some very good crosses came through, and they weren't getting them.
Yeah.
And one of them, I remember, Son tried to back heel it in, didn't he? And he just missed. But I know I wouldn't write Conte. I wouldn't write Son off. I would. Anyway, as I said, I would trust Conte. If Conte thinks he's a write-off, I'd agree with him.
Of course. I mean, I think what we need to do, I think it just goes to show how much we need an added attacker in the transfer window. Just if Son does need a rest, he's not a machine, neither is Kane, that there is someone they can say, OK, do you know what? It's a game where you can have a rest, because he needs it. Son and Kane, if they're fit, they play.
Yeah. Well, Brian Gill can be a replacement for Son.
Very true.
I think, but we don't really have a replacement for Kane.
Yet. I'm hoping. This is me, Grandpa. This is me saying yet. I'm hoping that we get the player in. I'm hoping we get the striker in. Do you reckon we're going to have a good window?
Well, I think so. I think listening to Conte, he's certainly already on the move, isn't he? On looking for somebody, and there's lots of rumours going around. I'm sure we'll have a good window. I don't think about a lot of people. I think we need just one or two really, really good people, because I think there's a lot of talent in our team, and he's bringing it out. I mean, look at Davis. I mean, he didn't have a bad game either today, and we would have written him off a month ago. Absolutely written him off.
100% agree with you there. He was great again today.
Yeah, he did. He did well today.
Really, really did.
Solid, wasn't he?
Exactly.
I mean, he's just like I said. I remember watching when we played Man U and we saw Davis in the team, and I remember reading it and just being like, "Well, that's us lost." Yeah. Whereas now, when he didn't play the other day, you're almost like, "Where's Ben Davis?"
Yeah,
it's Ben Davis.
That's right. That's right. So that's what he's doing, and that's what a great manager does, or a great coach does. That's why they're called coaches. They make the best out of the people that they're actually working with. That's their job. And if they can't move with them, they've got to get rid of them. They've got to say, no, you're not going to make it.
That's the thing. The sentiment has got to go.
Made those decisions, and I also think he's got Levy's got faith in him as well. And I'm a little bit more pro Levy at the moment, because I think he did take the risk of bringing him in. He took the risk of bringing Bale over. He's done a few things which he has tried, and I wouldn't keep mocking him, because I think if we've got a good team and a good manager, then we've got to, all of us, including him, have got to stay positive.
Let's hope we can stay positive. I mean, obviously, I think Grandpa, my Levy views are slightly different, just ever so slightly different. But what we're doing, Grandpa, obviously, hopefully I'll get to see you at a game before I go back. If not, be better. We're going to sort something out that we meet up. But we're going
we'll go out for a coffee or something.
1 billion%. And one thing we're doing today, before we get the next people on, we're going to be asking everyone for their favourite We Are Tottenham TV moment from when the boys took over to the 100,000 mark. Now, obviously, you are the number one person to ask. The number two person to ask will be coming on after you, but you've been there obviously from the very, very start. So what has been your highlight moment?
I don't know, the highlight moment is today.
There you go.
To actually get to 100,000 in what I think it's 3 years.
Yeah, they've done. I think it is about that. They have been.
And I think that is really exciting. And I think the whole highlight to me is to see two of my grandsons actually develop a program with creativity, interest, and clean.
Yep.
If you know what I mean when I say clean.
Yep.
And I think they've done a fantastic job. So my highlight is the whole thing, that what they've done. There's no particular moment that I particularly would bring out because it's been so good all the way through. And I just love it. It's changed my life.
Do you know what? It's spoken like a true grandpa. Spoken like a true grandpa. Every single moment of it. I think you're right, Grandpa. But as we said, Grandpa, I will see you very, very soon. I really look forward to it. Honestly, I love spending time with you. You're a fantastic guy. And I look forward to making that happen very, very soon.
Okay, Brian, and me.
Take care, buddy.
All right, let me speak to you.
That was the very, very, very famous Grandpa, who is just a super. I mean, I've had the pleasure of meeting him at the 3 games I went to, and it's like literally as soon as I see him, it's not even a handshake. It's like I just run up to him and hug him. He's just the most incredible guy. And now for the next guest, I can't believe I get to do this. I get to interview. So we've had the Grandpa. And now it's one half of the Mitchells to come on. It's time to bring on Grant Mitchell out of the 2. It's time to bring on Mr. 100,000 himself. Ben, how are we, brother?
Good evening, sir.
You're on mute. You're on mute on your own channel, sir.
Well, it's funny that, isn't it? I should really know when to mute or unmute. But are you calling me Grant Mitchell because I'm losing my hair?
No. I've always said, if you look at it, when I say about when we're at football matches and I have to describe you and Simian, you are Grant, where you're the let's get let's get loud, and Simian is the tactician and the thinker. So when I call you two the Mitchells, you're Grant for that reason, not because you're receding your hair. I'm not one to talk, mate. People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. But Ben, congratulations, brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It means a lot. But before I get into it, I just want to send out a message to Bob because obviously everyone's heard the updates, and just keep fighting, man. Just keep fighting, Bob. We just cannot wait to have you back with us. And that's more important than anything that's going to be said today. That's for sure.
100 billion%. Obviously, the update is not as we wanted, but it's not worse. So we've got to take positives where we can get them, and hopefully we'll have another update in a couple of days. But yeah, overall thoughts on that match, Ben?
Oh, it was a struggle, man. It was a struggle to get through that today. I mean, it was just that classic Spurs against the low block side. We've seen that game so many times, but credit to Spurs for keep plugging away, getting that goal right at the end. But it just wasn't enough today. Not enough today. Not enough movement. Not enough creativity. We tried to break them down. I mean, we controlled that game for the whole majority of it, didn't we? We controlled it, but we just didn't do enough to break them down. And you know, everyone's talking about how poor Sonny was today, and yeah, fine, he was poor for the most part of the game today. But at the end of the day, he's the one that got in that position for that Lucas Moura cross, or for that Lucas Moura through ball, had a really good opportunity, and he's the one that put the ball in the box for Davinson Sanchez today as well. So yeah, it wasn't the greatest performance by Heung-min Son, but you expect these kind of performances. Sonny loves the space in behind, and when there's no space in behind with Heung-min Son, he always finds it difficult, doesn't he?
Yep, he does. Like, you know, I think what I spoke about with Simian yesterday, with Son, I think it's papering over the cracks, so to speak. He's getting the goals and the assists, but it's his general play. But you're right, as long as those goals or assists keep coming, it's fine. It was a great delivery. Did you hear when I likened it to that Southampton goal for Harry Kane when he had to score to beat Shearer's record for the most calendar goals. It was like whipped in from Ericsson and he just got his head to it. It was kind of like that, but it was a great header. And thank God, like I said, that was it was kind of, I remember when I was back in England last time in that Rennes game and I was commenting on you and you're like, I wish I could go to sleep. And I was like, that's a good idea, Ben. And I went upstairs to bed. I was like, literally, at one point I was literally like, right, where's my bed? But thankfully we've just gritted out a win, which has been hard for us to do, especially away from home, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's the main point for me, to finally get 3 points away from home, our first 3 points since we beat Newcastle. And look, I didn't really care about the performance today. I didn't really care about anything. I just needed 3 points on the board, especially with the scum losing today to Man City. And you know what? They look good today. So that kind of worried me a little bit. But to get the 3 points on the board today, get an away win under our belt, there's no point focusing on the negatives. We need to focus on the positives. And the positives are we got 3 points on the board. Yeah, fine. It wasn't a vintage display like we want to see, but Conte's got a big month now. January is open as of today. The transfer window is open. So Levy, get that checkbook out. Because if we want to get top 4, we need to make signings. We're not making top 4 without signings. I guarantee you that.
No.
Yep, you're right. I mean, obviously, people know he's got till the 13th before I start going daily outside the training ground and start trying to cause havoc. It's got to happen. I mean, we're talking with your grandpa, obviously. Do you think without Dele and Ndombele coming on, that's kind of a clear indication, like, I want you gone?
Yeah, I think so. To be honest, I think the press conference was a clear indication of Tanguy. They asked him, pretty much identical questions on Winks and Ndombele. Winks, he was lapping it up and talking him up and talking about how he's going to stay. And what did he say about Tanguy? He's a midfielder. You know what I mean? So I think that tells you everything you need to know, to be honest, about Tanguy and Ndombele. I think he's going to be one of the first out the door. If we can get money in for him, that's the thing. We paid 65 million. So how much of a hit are we actually going to take on him? It's a big question. And with Dele Alli, I'm afraid he's long gone as well.
Well, I think we're taking as well. This is where we're going to find out how much power Conte has, because if we can get a deal and Conte wants to accept it, it's just depending whether that person says, do you know what? Okay, we'll take the hit, or he's like, no, I want this amount. This is going to be, I think the outgoings are going to be just as key as the incomings with how we get them out of the value.
Yeah, definitely. But the thing is with Paratici as well, I think Paratici will have a say on this, because Paratici, I don't know if you remember, but when he first came into the club, there were these quotes that were surfacing on him, and he was saying, no matter if you lose 1 million or gain 1 million, if you want to get the transfer done, just get it done. You know what I mean? There's no point dilly-dallying around for 1 million here, 2 million there. If you want to play her out, if you want to play it in, get the deal done. How many times have we lost out on players because of those just pussyfooting around for small amounts of money?
386, just off the top of my head.
Loads of them all the way through, isn't it?
Is it me, or are you shrinking every time I look at you? Yeah, your seat is going. You'll be under the table.
Phil, push the button on the bottom of the chair. You'll rise up.
Right, hang on.
There you go. Technical issues there. But Ben, you're saying positives. Who, if you had to pick up Grandpa said Kane, who would you say was your man of the match? You agree?
Yeah, I think I would agree. I think you can see Kane is really at it again. I mean, his hold-up play, his passing, he was trying to create the whole time. He was turning and shooting as well, which we haven't seen in a while. So, look, there weren't any real vintage displays out there today, in my opinion. I think Skip and Højbjerg were okay. The defence were all right. I mean, we controlled that game, but without really hurting them too much. So I would say Kane probably man the match today for us.
I've gone with him just because my affection for him. I've gone for Davinson just because I think he had a couple of good interceptions. He played well, and then obviously got the goal, and then I completely forgot when we scored that Sam was in the back end, and I was going absolutely mental. And then he wasn't best pleased.
Sorry about that, Sam.
Exactly. Well, what can you do? He came in wearing his Watford shirt. Well, what's he expect?
You know what? But you know what? It was very similar to the last Watford game under Nuno. Only 1-0. We got a lucky goal where Son just took a free kick and it went all the way through. Another set piece, 1-0. And we didn't look particularly good that game, and we controlled pretty much the majority of the game that day as well without creating too much. I mean, it was very similar, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, like I say, I think it sends a really good message out that again, like the Poch era, we're going the full hog. We're literally we're not stopping, and we're churning out the results when we need to dig out a result. Like we said, under Nuno, we would have fallen apart. Under Jose or Poch, we would have fallen apart. But this looks like Conte will see it through, and again, seeing substitutions being made at the correct time and used rightly. It just goes to show the upper echelons that we've gone into.
Well, actually, I think the subs were made a bit late today. I think usually Conte's really spot on in sub timings and stuff like that, but I actually felt we left it a bit late today. I thought that we needed a change a lot longer than before we brought it on. Well, we needed a change from the 10th minute today, let's be honest. But after the halftime whistle, I think we made our first change, 65th minute or something like that. Yeah. I felt like we needed one just before then. To give us some more energy into the game. But at the end of the day, Conte makes the changes and we go win the game in the last minute. So I'm not gonna put too much on Conte today, but look, you've got trust in the manager. He knows exactly what he's doing. So viva a la Conte for the foreseeable future.
1 billion%. And
do you think it was the right starting 11 for today?
I think so, yeah. I mean, he started the same 11 that played against Palace. I mean, that seems to be his trusted 11, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it was the best starting 11. I just felt like we lacked movement and lacked guile up front today. And Emerson today was getting in so many good positions on that right hand.
Unbelievable the first half.
And he was having so much of the ball, so many good positions, but his crossing let him down big time today, massively.
It's got to be worked on, hasn't it? I mean, there's a few people that have been calling like we should try and sabotage the Kieran Trippier bid, and I'm not one of them, but it's just because of his delivery. That if you had Emerson's build and Trippier's delivery, you've got one hell of a right back. But obviously, we know that can't happen. But hopefully, I'm going to see you. I pray to God I'm seeing you at Chelsea on Wednesday.
And, you'll see me at Chelsea. I'll be there.
Yes, fantastic. Fantastic. And Ben, I'm going to ask you as well, and this is going to be a good one. Out of your whole time, your favourite, I think I know what you're going to say, your favourite We Are Tottenham TV moment.
Oof. First of all, I want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart for 100,000 subscribers. That is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. For 100,000 people to be subscribed to our channel is just something that blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. And I just want to thank everyone out there, everyone that comes onto the fan shows, everyone, that interacts with us in the street, just everything in the comments, even people that don't show their faces, everyone that's come on and really helped us, you, Brian, John Cooper, Phil today, a lot of people, Dave, the Irish Hotspur, Ashley next to me. I mean, there's so many people that come on and make this channel what it is. Grandpa, who's sitting there in the background. I mean, it's just unbelievable the amount of people that helped us along this journey along the way. And to say I've got 100,000 subscribers, I tell you what, though, it's not stopping here. It ain't stopping here. On to the next milestone. But yeah, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much. But my favourite We Are Tottenham TV moment. And I heard Grandpa said it was 3 years. It's actually been like 4.5 years now. 4.5 years. And my favourite moment had to be in Amsterdam.
That's exactly what I thought you were going to say.
Had to be in Amsterdam. Ajax, semi-final, second leg. Being in that stadium was just something. I'm getting shivers up my spine just thinking about it right now. At half-time, everything's gone. Look, you all know the story. The story. But after that game, after celebrating in Dam Square until like 2-3 in the morning, get back into the hotel and the highlights are just playing, and I swear a tear just starts rolling down my eyes. I start crying pretty much, and that was just the whole emotions just coming out. It's just like, how did we do that? How did we do that? And everyone sees our reaction in the vlogs and everything like that. So I think that has to be my favourite moment. And the very close second is the last game at White Hart Lane.
Oh, that's a good shout. That's a good shout. But I'm going to use this opportunity as well now. You've just thanked the 100,000 people. I'm going to say it for a majority of people. I don't speak on everyone. We all need to thank you and Simian, because without you, I mean, here we go. You've got the loving. It's not just what you've given us. You've given us. A whole community has been started. the people all around the world that are watching, what you've done during lockdown, the friendships that have been created, the families that have been created, the channels that have been created. You're always there, and Simian, to support everything. Ashley, who you said next to you, is just a superstar and loves spending time with her as well. I can see her hand. I can see her. There you go. Hello, Ashley. That was a very Queen Royal wave there. But yeah, the Queen of We Are Tottenham TV. But listen, you and Simian have given so much to all of us, so we want to thank you just as much as you thank us, buddy, and never ever forget that.
Much appreciated, man. Much appreciated, and it makes me so proud when I see, your channel, all the other channels that have kind of stemmed off our channel. It makes me so proud when I see them growing. Like you just hit your 1,000 subscribers.
Yep.
First kind of super chats. I was live on air on your channel.
You was.
Your first super chat, and just all the channels, the Irish Hotspur. Matt Hayes, there are just so many different little channels that are stemming off. Phil, your channel, you know what I mean? There's just so many channels that are stemming off our channel. It just makes me so proud to see you all growing with us as well.
And forever, as long as you keep growing, we'll keep growing. And as you know, we're always going to be here to support you. And we know the feeling is very mutual, brother. So listen, go and enjoy your evening. Celebrate however you're going to celebrate with Ashley. And okay, apple juice, yeah? Nice apple ties.
Cheers, everyone.
L'chaim, Achi, l'chaim. And I will speak to you very soon, brother. And I will look forward. Is it Tuesday or Wednesday, Chelsea?
It's Wednesday.
Fantastic. I'll see you Wednesday.
And Arsenal, we are coming for you, people. We are coming for you.
2 points, 2 points, 2 games.
There we go. And we've got to play them.
Play them.
Oh, this is fun. I'm so happy I'm staying. I'm so happy I'm staying. I cannot wait. But Ben, go have a wonderful evening. Ashley, I'll speak to you soon.
And just lastly, I see my grandmother in the background too as well there. So a big wave to my grandma. Everyone wish her some love in the comments.
Oh, hello, Grandma. Woo. I've never met Grandma, so hello, Grandma. How incredible. How incredible. Congratulations on your grandchildren getting 100,000 subscribers. Thumbs up. That's what we like to see.
Totally
All
proud.
good. Ben,
Totally
enjoy your evening, brother.
Brian, Phil, just want to say amazing job today. Thank you so much for filling in, and we'll see you guys very soon.
You most certainly will. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
See you later, buddy. So, yeah, before we bring someone else on, actually, we were meant to do it at half time. I want you to plug your channel because people know I'm on Tottenham on tour. And as Ben said, we've got 1,000 subscribers, but you're part of a channel which is growing, and it's a brand new concept doing fantastic things. So tell them about your channel and what you do.
So I'm a member of Tottenham Tantrum Gold along with Dermot and Coover, and I'm sure you've seen Coover in the chats and everything and on here. But what we do is we look at old Tottenham from our history days. We do watch-alongs. So every morning the boys do a coffee morning, normally around sort of 11:30, where they do a watch-along game from one of Tottenham's, proud moments. And, there's a lot on there. Then in the evenings, we're on most evenings, but we have a good chat about, how good we were, different subjects. So we've done the sugar years, the sugar managers. We're still building up to do the Enoch ones, but it's just a lot of content of remembering our history because, we've been around a long time. First club to win the FA Cup as a non-league side, first club to do the double, first club to win the European Championship, and it's just all of that. So it's all about just remembering the history, and that's Tottenham Tantrum Gold. So it'd be good to see you over there. Been around now for about sort of 6 to 8 weeks, so we are definitely growing. But it'd be great to see anyone that wants to come along.
Highly recommended. And before we bring on Ben Davies, and I think he's just smiling, knows Arianna's coming on, and we've got a super chat from Mintu Lee, the superstar that is Mintu Lee, which is saying Sanchez actually had a decent goal header stats, 2 goals this season and 2 headed goals against Everton in the FA Cup last season. I've been saying it for a few weeks now. Sanchez deserves a bit of respect on his name, and hopefully now he will start getting it. But talking of the back three, we're going to talk about another member of the back three.
The back 33.
Yeah, the back 33. Well, I like what you did there. Let's bring on Arianna. Hello,
What's up,
sir.
guys?
How are we doing, sir?
Doing great with the Davis shirt on, actually.
Yeah.
I'm pinning. I'm sitting in my chest. You can't tell, but it is a Davis shirt. I mean, look, I don't care about the performance, man. Fun fact, last time we beat Watford away, in the league was exactly New Year's 2017, 5 years ago. 5 years ago today, 4-1. It's been so long since we had beaten Watford away. It's a difficult fixture for us. It's kind of so getting a difficult result like that is natural. And it's not like we played necessarily bad. We had some penalty shots that weren't given. Son, was right there, and it was a brilliant save. Lucas hit the ball over the top, and Son just hits it, and it's a wonderful save from however close that was. So it's not like we did nothing and just that came out of nowhere. But, even though we should have been better, it came. And, another thing is Watford typically don't play like that. So maybe we're not necessarily prepared to go into the game like that. Watford are normally, under Claudio Ranieri, they've been a bit of a more aggressive side.
Yeah.
And we were probably looking to exploit a lot of space in behind, which we weren't given. So credit to even Ranieri, who was just like, fuck it, go with the low block today. And it worked. So we were unprepared. It caught us by surprise, but we found a way. And that's what it is. That's sometimes football. Sometimes you don't deserve the win and you get it, and sometimes you get it through other means. And this is just one of those games. It happens, and we'll take it. I'm not going to complain one bit.
No, it was absolutely essential we won today, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a big 3 points, especially with the so-called top 4 contenders, Arsenal, dropping points. Especially with that happening, they drop points last minute. 2 last-minute winners to celebrate today as a Spurs fan, and we take them. Take them both.
Actually, yeah.
Without a doubt, Aaron, do you know what? You mentioned something, and I hadn't even realised that. You're right. When you look at Watford's performances, they have been ultra aggressive, especially Manchester United 4-1, Everton 5-2, and even West Ham. They had been on the front foot and gone for it, whereas against us, they really did. I had only just. Aaron, that's a great spot because I hadn't even thought of that. So, yeah, I think that may have thrown us off. Something we haven't spoken about yet, and didn't speak with Grandpa and Ben. How lucky were we with Hugo Lloris? That was a blatant penalty.
No, he got the ball.
VAR.
Got the ball.
VAR,
You got the ball.
VAR showed differently when they were talking on the game, but.
Maybe it didn't show you guys both angles because I was at the bar. It showed 2 angles, one from this way and one from like the side view. On the side view, it looks like a penalty, but if you look at it straight on, he hits the ball 110%. I would bet a lot of money on that he hit the ball. There's no way that's a penalty for me.
So do you know what? There's a few people. It's. Do you know what? I think you're right because we may have only given the one view because it's coming. There's a lot of people commenting saying he did get the ball, so that may have been our mistake. But seeing Hugo rush out like that can always be a little bit. It's what he did at the beginning. Actually, it's what he was known for, and he kind of stopped it. But you just saw that tackle going in, and you must have thought, "Oh no, no, here it comes."
I didn't know what to think because on one hand I was like, "Oh shit, they might be clinical here," on the other hand I was like, "Oh, what if we give something bad away?" But for me, I looked at that on the second angle. Hugo got the ball 10 million%. Like I'm super confident that he got the ball. Not even close to him.
So with Hugo, obviously he didn't have an awful lot to do other than that, and then that worldy save that he pulled off. How important is it that he stays with us?
Look, it's crucial. He's the best shot stopper in the league, and he has been for so long. I will say it. I will die on this. He is the best shot stopper in the league. Get your Aaron Ramsdale's out of the way, and the quality that Lloris has is something that is very underappreciated, and it's a keeper that's not busy at all throughout the whole game, but one crucial save that comes out of the blue, entirely out of nowhere, counterattack, and it's a brilliant shot, and he's on his toes to make that save. That is an incredibly underrated ability of the keeper, because what you see with relegation keepers a lot, people always say, "Oh, they're so good," is because they're being challenged time and time again, and so they're kind of into the rhythm of making these saves. What's even more difficult than that is to make one 70 minutes into the game that's being your first serious shot on target. That is an incredibly underrated thing, and Lloris is the best in the world at that, and it's amazing. Of course, we need to keep him because he's just essential to the way we're playing right now. We need him 100%. He's a captain too. He's a leader at the back. Exactly. Who knows what's going to happen when we lose? lose him.
It's a double whammy losing a world class keeper and your goalkeeper. But let's talk about your boy. I've been very happy with Davinson because I've been sticking my neck out for Davinson and it's starting to show. But obviously, as we said, we shared our first stream yesterday of me being on the same stream at the same time, and I've seen you on the show for ages now, and you've always been Ben Davies' biggest supporter probably in the Spurs community, along with Alex Davies. I have to mention him along with Alex Davies. But again, another fantastic performance.
Oh, amazing! Honestly, I don't even know what's happened to him. Man, I love the guy, but even I didn't expect this. It's unbelievable how good he has become, and he's just been so good. If Davinson, even without the goal, I was actually leaning on giving Davinson my man of the match actually because I thought he was brilliant, and especially when he turned that little and sent whoever the hell that was. I think it was King. Oh, it was so nice, man. But he was just good today, and he was actually very comfortable on the ball. I felt he was really good, and just he was. Like, his performance was consistent. He's been doing these things. He's had way less of the mistakes that he's kind of known for. That everybody's like, geez, maybe he's not so reliable. He's been eyeing that out of his game, and he's looking much more like a consistent defender. And it kind of asks the question, where the hell is Romero coming? Because you take Sanchez out of this.
My question to you is, if you had all four of them were fully fit, Who plays? Because Ben Davies presumably for you starts because he's on the left. Which two play in the other two?
You're not going to put Romero on the left. That's just not his position. Neither is Sanchez or Dyer. And until we sign a left center back, Davies is kind of nailed on there. It's between Dyer and Sanchez. And Sanchez has been unbelievable. And Dyer is our most senior defender, and he's probably one of the best on the ball, if not the best on the ball in the back. So it's like, who do you take out? It's so difficult. And I don't know. But the thing with Romero is he's one of the best defenders in the world. That's why we paid so much for him. So, it's so, I don't even know. It's such a good problem to have, though. Yeah. And it's so, not for us. We were complaining that our center backs were shit for, 2 years now. And now we have 4 that we presumably can't figure out which they're the best because they're so good, all of them. But, so it's a good problem to have, but it's also, But that's what we have Conte for. These are the headaches Conte wants to have. Well, no, my players are all so good. What am I going to do?
Well, the great thing about it, Arianna, it's just like Juicebox has said, it's brilliant for rotation. It's brilliant for rotation. We keep thinking that, we have 11 players, they play when they're fit. They play. It's not that game anymore like back in the 80s where you just play every game and you need to rotate and need to keep the players fresh. Just like Poch did with the wing backs, with Walker and Trippier and Rose and Davies. It's how you keep them fresh. It's how you keep them, hopefully, from picking up injuries. And we've got that option, whereas before, like we're looking at Winks now. Winks, you would have thought, is never going to play again, and he has put himself back in. So I personally, as much as I love Sanchez, as soon as Romero's match fit, there's levels above. There's levels above Romero. And he has to come in. But one of the things I loved with Ben Davies today, Aaron, did you see when we knocked the ball out because Watford had an injury? Yeah. And Mora passed it to Davies, and Davies wanted to attack, and he was rolling around. It was just like, and he literally said, and he just smashed the ball away. But then a few minutes later, we went down with a player, and they didn't stop. And Ben Davies just ran like a tank to try and get the ball. His attitude, I mean, I never put him as one of the bad eggs or the bad attitudes. Ben Davies may not have been good enough for left back, but he certainly weren't one of the ones like a Dele with his negative attitude or whatever. And you've got to commend Ben Davies. You've got to commend you for sticking by him, mate.
Respect.
It's worth it. It's all been worth it. It's been since publicly since 2018, so 4 years now, man. That's it's worth it though. Again, the guy's just been so good recently, man. I don't even know what else. And what his passion is showing too, which you just mentioned one example. My other example was he had 3 really hard challenges on some Watford players. The one where I don't know who it was, but they flipped and they landed on their hands. I think it gave him a foul. Oh, I was loving that challenge. And there was another one on the touchline where he just came in and slid out of nowhere, took the ball with power. Love that. I want to see that in the North London derby, man. I want to see Davis going in with full power. Well, Davies, Sanchez, and
hopefully, who knows, Romero could be better. Do you know what it is with Davies as well? Is last season under Jose, do you remember he played like 9 games back-to-back, and then against Brighton, he had an absolute shocker when we lost 1-0 at Brighton. He is playing regularly now, but I don't know if it's the fitness coach working with him or when he had that rest against Palace. He looks full of energy, full of confidence, and is asserting himself in that position in fantastic fashion.
The thing is, he's getting forward so much, and
They
he's
all
going
laugh
up
at him.
and down the field. It's so it's so strange to see, but it's so refreshing. It doesn't compute in my brain. I'm trying to process what I'm trying to say, because you have this Sanchez going forward with the ball and he's looking pretty all right. You have Davis, who's been criticized at a fullback role for not getting up the field. Now you put him at center back, and now sometimes he's more forward than Kane, and he's in the midfield making tackles. And you have Dyer going forward, pinging these amazing long balls like his prime Toby Alderweireld. And then you have these wingbacks flying up and down the field, and it's all working in harmony, and it's so nice. And sure, we needed a last-minute winner from a set piece to win today. But it's still, you got to commend the performance, because it's still, we controlled for 90 minutes. We had a lot of other chances, and the keeper made a brilliant save for Sonny, and it just happens. So I don't know, man. I'm trying to compute it all in my brain, and it's great, though. I'm happy. That's all. It's like the one way. I'm happy with everything that's going on. Antonio Conte.
Exactly.
That was one of my favourite bits today, where Emerson had the ball. It was quite late on, and he literally knocked it to his right, and you're like, who's doing the overlapping run? And it was Sanchez, and you're like, what is going on there? Wasn't a great cross, but you were just like, but he was in that position, and there was a couple of times where we saw you had the whole of the Tottenham side, or the whole of everyone bar Lloris was in the top third, in Watford's third of the pitch, and you're like, we were watching it here, and we were like, is this right? Is this
correct?
Again, you go back to that word, and it's like, Conte, we have to trust him.
100%. So, Arianna, final question for you.
I know what it is.
Milestone today, a huge milestone for the boys that we love dearly and the channel we love so much. Your favourite moment, or your favourite Tottenham TV moment since you've been watching the channel?
I'm gonna try and pick 2. One, just because I'm Mr. Ben Davis FC when Davis hit that from against Stoke, when he scored that goal in the Carabao Cup. Oh, my reaction was priceless. No, obviously I wasn't any sort of watch, but I jumped off my couch screaming at the top of my lungs. It was amazing. And in this channel, what I'm gonna say, it's a little bit. It's gonna sound a little bit weird at first, but the fact that the Premier League had to get postponed and restarted because of COVID, because that kind of gave birth to this idea of giving call-in shows. Because I remember I watched the show for a while for a while back as well. And all the fan shows were just typical fan shows at the stadium after the game, and they were interviews. But this COVID thing kind of kickstarted this new thing for the channel, the call-in shows. Yep. And that's kind of what gave me my platform here. And I've just loved that, and I've called in a lot, and I've loved it ever since. I look forward to it after every game. So it's definitely been one of my one of the things that's brought me the greatest joy, and it relates to this channel. The fact that I can come here and talk to you guys, talk to Ben and Sam, it's amazing. So that's what I would go with.
Yeah, and you showed your dedication yesterday, staying up till 4 a.m. to watch us, didn't you?
4 in the morning, yeah. 4 in the morning, but it was worth it.
What time did you finally get to sleep, or are you going to sleep now they've hit the 100,000 and you did, like I said, you've been up all night?
Oh, no, I was not able to stay up all night. I think I fell asleep at, it was 4:30. I think I fell asleep at maybe 5:30 or 6, something like that. The Ben Davis compilation ran out around then.
Ariel, listen, brother, it's always a pleasure speaking to you. Hopefully I'll speak to you again whilst I'm here. And I wish you a very, very happy new year, my man.
Happy New Year to you too, Brian. And come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs. See you later, brother. So, yeah, all good, all good. So,
what a difference, a last-minute goal, mate. So everyone's evening, the next few days.
It really does. I mean, that last-minute goal, the smash and grab, makes such a big difference. And we'll talk about that to begin with the next guy, who is a very good friend of mine, a very big supporter of all the channels, Mr. Brad Matthews.
Hiya, Brad.
How you doing?
How you
Can you
feeling?
hear me?
I can hear you, but you've frozen, or you've become an incredible ventriloquist.
I know. I froze. I had to log off and log on again. But as long as you can hear me, I suppose they'll have to look at my beautiful face for a while.
Well, it's a lovely still, mate. It's a lovely still. It's like having your passport photo taken.
Yeah. It could be worse, I guess. It could be worse.
How you feeling, Brad?
I'm fine. I keep testing positive, so I've basically got to stay isolated until Monday. So, but I'm actually fine. I'm actually shrugging my shoulders here, but obviously you can't see it. But yeah, I'm actually okay. No problems at all. Yeah. I'd just like to say before we start, first of all, obviously I wish Bob a speedy recovery, and let's stay in there, Bob. I also hope that whoever was taken ill today at the Watford Spurs game is okay. And also, Happy New Year to everybody. And also, congratulations to Ben and Sim and everyone else involved in making 100,000 subscribers. Absolutely brilliant. Really, the best show out there. And really, really brilliant. Well done, guys. Well done.
Yeah, that is like we've been saying all day. I mean, at one point the game was so
in the
dull. At one point, it was like in the back of our mind, it was like, right, let's get these guys to 100,000 and let's hope the game picks up. But what were your thoughts on the game, Brad? First of all, Brad, Happy New Year to you as well. And
Thank you.
And I hope to see. I haven't seen you since I've been back yet, have I?
No. I'll certainly be at the Chelsea game. I'll be at the Morecambe game. I'll be at the next two home games, definitely.
I'll be at the Chelsea and I'll be at the Filth, and hopefully I'll be at the Morecambe. I bet
Yeah,
we're
well,
doing the watch along here, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'll be at all those games. So yeah, so hopefully we can certainly catch up. Well, to me, I'll be honest with you. I watched you guys. I couldn't get a stream, so yeah. So my thoughts on the game are basically what you were telling me. So it seems like it was a hard fought victory. I actually looked at the stats, and I think we had something like 21 shots on goal and sort of 11 on target or something. So yeah, so we looked like we dominated the game, but we struggle against teams that defend basically. That we saw it against Southampton. But I will tell you this: I watched the the Arsenal game today.
Yep.
And when they went down to 10 men, Man City found it really, really difficult to break Arsenal down. They found it really, and we're talking about one of the best teams in Europe, probably the best team in Europe, and they found it really difficult. So it's not easy when you're faced with that sort of low block sort of side. But hey, we got the win, and 2 goals today, both in injury time, and it's been a great day. So yeah, we got the win, and that to me is the only thing that matters. I was at 0-0. I was not looking forward to the evening. I thought, that's my evening ruined. But now that we got the result, it's a great evening once again. So
exactly, it certainly made the fan show a lot easier to do, because we were thinking at 0-0, what the hell are we going to talk about? It really was
positive.
We have to be positive. But Brad, I've been asking a few people this question. Where do you see it? Do you reckon we get more confidence and more belief in ourselves from doing a last-minute smash and grab as opposed to like a 3-0 win? What's your thoughts on that and the way we will react with this performance?
Well, the problem is when you win every game 3-4-0 or whatever, when you come up against a game today, you think, this isn't going how we planned it. What's going on here? But when you start getting these wins, you know that you can do it. It instills a belief in you that when you're up against these teams that are putting everyone behind the ball, when things don't seem to be going for you, you have a belief that you can win it because you've done it before. Otherwise you think, it's going like it did the other against Southampton. But we won the game today, and it's like, okay, well, we can win. We can win. We have to keep going and keep going and keep going. No matter how poorly we might be playing, keep going, and just trust in the ability of your teammates. And I think that happened today. And I think it's a very, it wasn't pretty from what I can gather, but hey, that's a really good win today because we're now only 2 points behind Arsenal with 2 games in hand. We were above West Ham, but they're 3-0 up at Palace at the moment. Yeah. But to be honest, West Ham don't really worry me. And the big thing is we've got West Ham at home and we've got Arsenal at home. They're must-win games or not lose those games because we don't want to concede points to those teams.
Yeah.
So I think winning today that should give them a lot of confidence in their ability.
Good answer. So seeing that you didn't get to watch again, there's not moments I can really pick out. But if I was to say to you, not seeing Tanguy and Dele even get on, do you reckon that spells the end, or the writing is on the wall, so to speak?
Yeah, because when I was watching it or watching you guys, and it was, we obviously needed to make substitutions. I actually thought, well, if ever there's a chance for Nondombele to prove himself, today's the chance.
Yeah.
And the fact he wasn't brought on, the fact that Dele Alli wasn't brought on, that probably does say a lot. What one of the earlier callers was saying about losing money on Nondombele, well, if you sell both of those players, you're probably going to make up that money. So if we say 60 odd million for Nondombele, if you sell Nondombele and Dele, then you're probably going to make 60 million back. And let's face it, Dele Alli only cost us 5 million.
Yep.
Yeah.
6-7 years ago. So I think if they do, and they will take a loss on Nondombele, that's undoubted. But if you take the loss on Nondombele, you can make it up with selling Dele Alli. Now, I've been a big fan of Dele Alli, and I've tried to support him. I was hopeful after the Liverpool game. But we saw him the other day, and he was just awful. So yeah, I think and we mustn't be. We've all got our favourite players, but we've also got one of the best managers, if not one of the best managers in world football. So you have to trust what he wants to do. So that's my.
And I guess the other thing you've got with Ndombele is that massive salary. I mean, that's if you sit there and say to you, we'll wait we'll keep him for another year in the hope of getting some extra money. You're going to spend another 10 million on wages. So it's not just your transfer fee. I think you've got to take into account. And he's just.
I also think Nondombele is. I don't think he's suited for the Premiership. I don't think. No. I think he's probably going to be good in the French league or maybe the Spanish league or the Italian league, another league. But I don't think he's suited for the Premiership. So if we do sell him, I don't think we're going to be bitten on the bum by him coming back and playing well against us. And because I think he'll go to another European team. And with Dele Alli, if he goes to say Newcastle, well, we're not be playing Newcastle next season. So it's. I think they have to. Yeah, you have to put sentiment aside, and I've loved Dele Alli. Don't get me wrong, but you have to put sentiment aside, and we have to trust in what Conte and Paratici, because don't forget they're working together to do what they do.
So if you were bringing players in, what's your main position that you would like to see filled?
I think striker. I really do, because I think we're one game away. We're always one game away from Kane, or for that matter, I know he didn't play well today, from what I've heard, from Son getting injured. And then where do you go? If you bring in a decent striker, and we're talking about Vlahovic, I don't think that will happen during January. It might happen in August in the summer window. I don't think it happened during January. But you say you bring in a player like that, you've got two top quality strikers to play up top. You can drop Kane back, play Vlahovic up there. You can play all three of them, But it also gives you a chance to rest players. Now, Sonny, I reckon the problem with Sonny at the moment is he's just playing too much. He's playing every single game. And it just gets to a stage where you can't be like such a high level performer that everyone will notice when he doesn't play well. So I think, you've got those sort of players that you have to have some sort of backup, or not backup, competition, and that you're able to actually rotate them, which Conte has shown that he's doing over this period.
Absolutely bang on the money. So, Brad, I'm going to ask you the question we're asking everyone at the end. So, what is your favourite We Are Tottenham TV moment since you've been watching?
Well, I'm going to get really sentimental now. My favourite moment is when I discovered We Are Tottenham TV, and in particular the fan show, because I remember looking through YouTube, and we'd all seen Arsenal Fan TV, and we'd all had a laugh of it. But I felt that Arsenal Fan TV was becoming like WWE. It was all put on. And I saw We Are Tottenham TV as, I thought, that must be our equivalent. Oh, well, I hope they're not like Arsenal Fan TV. And what a pleasant surprise when I actually tuned in and thought, wow, these guys are really good. They know what they're doing, And then I discovered the fan show, and in the first season during lockdown, that meant a heck of a lot. And I think a lot of people have touched on that. During lockdown, that meant a heck of a lot, especially when we played poorly. And I was really, really angry, and I could put that channel on, and you have the fan show, and you get people like Grandpa, the voice of reason. We all love Grandpas, and it would calm me down. And I was like, yeah, he's got a point. And then through that, you see this Irish guy who's really, really funny. I thought, this Irish guy, you've got to watch this Irish guy. He's really funny. David Harris, who we all know and love now. And then there was this guy who lived in Toronto. Who
thank God. Really Thanks,
but But yeah, I look forward to the fan show. And for that season, I wasn't a member, so I couldn't contribute. I look forward to the fan show every time to see your David Harrises, to see your Brian Daigles, and all the other people, your Marcellos and that. And it was just brilliant. And it just really made me feel part of something. And now, obviously, I'm involved in it. I know you guys. And that is, my YouTube family means the world to me. They really do. And I've met a lot of you in person. Some I haven't met. I just know you on a video stream. But every one of you that I've met, or these must mean so much to me now. And it's and that's all through We Are Tottenham TV. That was like the catalyst that started it. And as you rightly say, they give, they support all the other little channels out there as well. So that's my favourite moment.
Yeah, I'm just going to add on to that, Brad, because obviously you and me have met a number of occasions. When I came over to London last time, we will again. It just goes to what people see. Obviously, when there's regulars that call in on the fan show and people get around the channels, they see that, but they don't see what goes on behind and the family that has kind of been created, and WhatsApp groups and phone calls and friendships and meeting for dinner and going to games together. And like I said, during a time where the world is an awful place and lots going on, and obviously people have had mental health issues and other issues to deal with, the support that has come and all splintered off from this channel, it's just simply, it's mind-blowing. It's like, I look forward to having another curry with you before I go, that's for damn sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, so, well, I'm out of isolation on Monday, so...
There we go. So we're still something out. But I couldn't agree with you more with what you said about your favourite moment, Brad. And listen, get well soon, or test negative soon, let's say.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't make any difference now, because if you get 2 negative tests in a row, you can stop isolation. Well, I'm on day 9 and day 10, so it doesn't matter now. So I've got to wait till Monday. I've got to wait till Monday, whatever it is. I've got a really, really long walk planned on Monday.
Okay, well, enjoy that walk, and we'll speak very soon anyway.
Yeah. Take care, guys. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Brad. Take care.
See you later, buddy. So, there's the incredible Brad Matthews. And, look who's coming on next. Okay, look who's coming on next. We've had one half of the 100,000 club. We've had the 50,000. He's smiling. Let's complete the 50,000. Make it 100. Hello, Simian, brother. The 50,000. He's smiling. Let's complete the 50,000. Has someone got it on in the background?
1 sec. Have I got the sound on?
I thought it was. I think you had YouTube on at the same point.
Good evening, Sim. How are you? Congratulations on your 50.
Wait, I don't think. See, we've had Ben who's had it muted. We've got Simian who can't hear us. Hello, Simian.
I can't hear you guys.
Oh no.
Okay, I don't know what's going on with Simian.
I can only hear it through YouTube.
I don't know what's going on there, Simian. Yeah, I can hear the echo with YouTube.
I can hear it through YouTube. I can hear myself. I don't know
what's going on there, Simian. Yeah, I can hear the echo with YouTube. I can hear myself.
Yeah,
now,
I can't hear it. What about you?
I wish I could tell you I know the resolution to this issue.
1 sec.
Log off and log on.
Yeah, I could say to Simian, yeah.
Am I muted or something?
I can hear you.
Yeah, you're
all right,
crystal clear coming through.
Sec. Let me just look. I'll go off and on again. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay, go off and come on again. So we'll just have a little chat whilst we wait for Simian.
I'll tell you what. Listening to the comments, there's some beautiful comments coming in, isn't there? I would echo what Brad was saying when he was saying about the family and the fact that you can go and you've got an outlet, because we all know, being Tottenham fans, it's hard going, isn't it? Look at today. We're all sat there thinking 3-0, 4-0. It's a 96-minute goal. It's not an easy watch. We can't sit and say that was totally relaxing. Yeah, no problem. It's hard work being a Tottenham fan.
Oh, it is.
Having fellow people that are going through the same emotions and knowing everything that's there. It's so good. Right,
I think we might have Simian back. Let's have a look. Simian, can you hear us?
No, I can't hear. I can't hear.
This will go on the blooper reel of the... I
can't hear.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so let's get someone else on whilst we try to sort out Simian's technical issues. I can see a few people we've got guys. So who we got next? We got Mikey.
Yo.
Mikey.
How we doing, Mikey?
I'm good. Yeah, sorry for the I had a little technical problem because I basically tried to join, and then my laptop ran out of battery about 5 minutes ago. So I thought I was like pushed back to the queue, but luckily I managed to get back in. So yeah, I'm here.
Were you able to watch the game?
Unfortunately, I mean, it wasn't a 3 p.m. Saturday, so it wasn't a
Yeah.
watershed, so that no one could watch it.
Yeah, I didn't know if you managed to kind of watch it anyway.
No, I don't. I've tried it before. My laptop got infected with a virus, so I don't.
Okay. So you had the joy of listening to us.
I listened on Radio 5 Live. I listened to the radio commentaries because I find them.
Mikey, how dare you? How dare you?
Yeah.
We're here working away for people like you, and you got radio bloody fun. No joke. So what were your thoughts of from what you were hearing from Radio 5?
Radio 5. I was, from what I could tell. I've watched the Sky Sports highlights, and it seems that Watford were playing 10 men behind the ball, and I think it was pretty obvious as soon as they brought off Dennis at half time, brought on João Pedro, it was all about hitting us on the counter and keeping 11 men behind the ball, and it was a very hard game to listen to. It was such a dirty game in a way, because we should have had a penalty when Eric Dyer was rugby tackled to the ground, but then they should have had a penalty when Hugo Lloris manhandled whoever it was.
Well, there's been a lot of talk on that because Arianna, when he came on, he was saying basically from one angle Hugo got the ball, from the other angle it was a penalty. We both watched it in the studio and we were like, "Oops, that's a penalty all day long."
I think it was the idea that with the Eric Dyer challenge from earlier, they didn't give it. And I remember when, I can't remember who it was, but there was incidents in the Liverpool game when decisions didn't go one way, they went the other way, and there was a lot of controversy. So I think the referees today were trying to keep a level of discipline between. So I think that Eric Dyer incident not being given had an impact on the Watford incident not being given, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like if the Eric Dyer penalty is given and Harry Kane slots it into the left side like he usually does, I think they're giving that as a penalty to Watford. But I was confused because on the commentary I was listening to, they said VAR's taking a look, and then the game just continued as if VAR. No one even mentioned that the VAR check complete.
That normally means they must have had a really quick look at it. But
they did. They said the check complete, no penalty. It was like decided. VAR did take a look at it, but it was dismissed very quickly.
Okay, yeah, then I think, you know what, I'm glad that Stevie Wonder's in Stockley Park, but I think
he was certainly there against Southampton, wasn't he?
Oh my god, I think the win today has shown that Conte is now starting to look at the low block sides, and because don't get me wrong, today's performance was dull, but the Southampton one I watched physically on Amazon Prime, and it was the most boring 45 minutes of football I've seen in my life. I think the Watford performance today was better than the Southampton one, because we won and we got the smash and grab at the end with Davinson, but I think today we showed a little bit more urgency. I still think there's a long way to go for Conte's system to be able to push against the low block sides, because we don't need 3 centre-backs if we're coming up against a 10-man defence, if that makes sense. I know that they had King, Dennis, and later João Pedro on the counter, but I think there was no error. I think Conte's strategy today was real, but what Watford defended, they well and truly parked the bus. They defended for their lives, and it was only due to a very, very tired performance right at the end. I think the fan incident in the crowd, I hope he's okay, whoever and whatever happened, I hope they're all okay, but that almost gave us a lifeline, because it gave us a little bit of energy back, and it kind of drained Watford a bit because they'd been defending for so long, and then they had to wait again just to do the exact same thing. They kind of lost their momentum of defending, if it makes sense. And I think it was Kudska, the player who gave away the foul on Son. He just looked extremely lethargic and tired by the 75th, 80th minute. So I think in part that little bit longer having to wait has helped us with Davinson's last minute winner. But
certainly was a needless foul to give away. It was a bit like Aurier's in the cup final, wasn't it? It was like, Son was going nowhere from there. There was no need to make that challenge, but he dived in and it just gave us an opportunity. And for the first time in a while, we've scored from a set piece.
For the first time in a while, we've won away from home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is, how good's that for our momentum and for the upcoming, the January fixtures?
I think it's good momentum. So Right, we play Chelsea next or Morecambe next?
Chelsea on Wednesday.
Chelsea on Wednesday at Stamford Bridge.
Oh fuck. Okay, so because I thought the reason Dele and Dombele were being rested was because we had Morecambe next, but my calendar's gone wrong, and we now actually have Chelsea next. So we've played Kane and Son for a full 90, and we've got Chelsea in 4 days, and they looked tired today. It's been such a congested fixture list, and we haven't even talked about the games that we have to play, the 2 games in hand, with West Ham comfortably destroying Crystal Palace and Arsenal having...
What's the score?
3-0.
It's still 3-0, I think. It could be 4 for all I know, the amount of goals that... It's 3-0 with the 54th minute, and apparently Lanzini scored an absolute belter. I don't know if that rings any bells, but...
Yeah, unfortunately that does. Those 3 words, Lanzini scores belter, will haunt me for the rest of my life.
Move on very quickly.
Yeah,
none of us want that image.
Well, most definitely. So yeah, we got Chelsea on Wednesday. What are you thinking we could do there, Mikey?
Fuck all. I'm thinking that our big performance will come at home, because we've shown repeatedly that our home atmosphere can carry us through games under Conte, because of the buzz that Conte gives the fans, his passion. It's not something we've seen since, because Mourinho, he lost that passion years ago, and Nuno was about as inspiring as a block of wood. So I think Conte's raw passion ignites the fans a bit more than other managers have previously. So I think our home fixture, and Conte's not going to like his first game back at Stamford Bridge being a cup semi-final with a team that's notorious for not making it past cup semi-finals. I think there'll be a bit more pressure on Conte because of the new manager situation to who he used to manage, but I don't think the pressure will be on too much, because they've got big Romelu Lukaku to deal with now. The internal situation that he's caused will hopefully affect their performance on the pitch. I know that Kante won't be back, or will. I can't remember who they've got. I don't know who they've got out.
Well,
but I think
Benjamin Mendy will be with the African Cup of Nations.
I think it's... Is that a joke?
No. Mendy
It's Edouard Mendy.
Edward, what did I say?
You said Benjamin Mendy. He's the convicted Man City.
Yeah. Sorry.
I've
said Marlon King instead of Thingy King.
Josh King.
Mendy, sorry. Their keeper, the
Edouard
Chelsea
Mendy.
keeper, will be in the African Cup of Nations.
Oh, so we've got Kepa Slippy Hands in goal.
Exactly.
Which is
he's been okay when he's played, to be fair, but yeah, there's a lot to be excited about. But I think the state of our squad, we have to buy players in January. Obviously, there's been a lot of buzz about Franck Kessié coming in, and numerous rumours that Vlahovic and the like are being linked. I think our main sticking point this January window will be a striker, and genuinely, I think a new centre back, because, like I've mentioned, the top class centre back. Because, like I said, then we could rotate our entire defence with 6 senior centre backs. We could rotate Davis. Let's say Davis, the new one in the middle, and Romero, and then Sanchez, Tanganga, and whoever the left-sided centre-back is that you get in. So I'm hoping that we can produce a good enough performance against Chelsea. I don't see us winning, because again, we've only won once at Stamford Bridge in something like 25, 28 years. So I think it will be a close run affair. I think Chelsea will have the advantage just because of the caliber of their squad. I hate to say it, but the caliber of their squad is that of a Champions League winning team, even though they have numerous players out with COVID and injuries.
But they've not been on a lot of form recently, have they? They've been dropping a lot of points. They had a torrid time against. I can't believe I'm saying this.
Yeah,
but a torrid time against Brighton.
Yeah, but this game isn't about points, is it? It's whoever wins wins. It's not whoever wins. You get 3 points on the board, and you can move on to the next game to make it up if you draw or lose. This is a 1-2. It's a 2-leg semi-final, and I think we will have the advantage at home. And I think Thomas Tuchel will be looking to implement some kind of discipline on Romelu after he said what he said. So I don't think Romelu Lukaku will start, and that kind of gives me a bit more hope, because Romelu Lukaku is unlike any other striker you have to defend against. He's one of the hardest strikers to defend against, even when he's not on form. He's fast, but his strength is unimaginable. So he'll probably brush off Ben Davis like he's not there. Eric Dyer will clatter him, and Davinson Sanchez will have to try and keep up. Like he's one of the strikers that can take on 3 players at once and beat them all with his raw strength. So we're gonna need to seriously try and find a solution for stopping Romelu Lukaku if he does play, and if he doesn't play, then they might play like Mason Mount in the hole again or something. But I see our chances against Chelsea being good, but I don't see us getting a win out of the first leg, but I do see us getting through in the second leg, if that makes sense.
Of course, let's hope so. I'll be there to knock out Chelsea, second leg at home, to get to Wembley, and maybe play Arsenal in the final. We'll just be like knocking out West Ham, knocking out Chelsea, and then knocking out Arsenal. I don't think there's a cup you could win in a better circumstances. But Mikey, quick question before we let you go, buddy. Your favourite moment since you've been watching We Are Tottenham TV?
So I've been subscribed since the first video I ever watched from this channel was the Fulham when we beat them with Harry Winks' last minute header from the Nkudu cross. That was the first video I watched, but I didn't start becoming a regular viewer till about August. That's when I really, because I've been taking the piss out of Arsenal Fan TV for years, and I kind of had the same story as Brad. You know, I was looking for a Tottenham version, and I searched up Tottenham Fan TVs, and I got Expressions Oozing, Georgia Killier, and then you guys. So I've been watching like Expressions for about a year, but then I found you guys as well. So I watched, and my favorite moment was actually it was when we were on the international break. So I remember waking up one morning, spending the entire morning watching through about 8 unpopular opinion Tottenham.
I do love the unpopular opinions.
And that was like my first proper introduction, and I've only been coming on the call-in show since October. But probably my favorite moment, we came a couple times ago when I think I told a joke, and I saw everyone in the chat laughed and everyone on here laughed, and it's been absolutely like amazing watching. Congratulations on the 100K. I congratulated them yesterday if they reached it before I came on today. So yep. I actually take the privilege of congratulating them first. No need to thank you guys. And I think what they've done for because I think they're one of the biggest Tottenham YouTube channels on YouTube now, behind probably Tottenham itself and maybe Expressions. I think you guys are the biggest. So you're really making waves, and to get 100,000 people to follow you is no mean feat. So, and for Tottenham as well, probably half of the subscribers are Korean, but still, it's nice to know that my club, because I've watched other clubs, like you got the people who go on the True Geordie podcast, like there's Rory, the Chelsea fan. I know about him for a bit, and I always wanted someone like that for Tottenham, and I found you guys, and so you're pretty much like one of 3 or 4 YouTube channels that I watch every video that comes out. I watch the predicted lineup videos, the player rating videos, basically what I watch you guys and HITC7s. They're the 2 channels that I watch religiously every day. So, when I'm not doing my uni work, which
of course
I should be prioritizing now. But anyway, missed deadline, don't matter. We're talking. So,
Mikey, it is always a pleasure, brother. And I'm sure I'll see you on the stream again very, very shortly, my man. But Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, Happy New Year,
too.
Mikey.
Well done, Ben and Sim, as well.
Completely, they deserve it more than anything. So, congratulations, Ben and Sim. And Mikey, I'll speak to you again soon.
Bye.
See you later, buddy.
Take care.
Okay, so before we bring the next person, we've got a super chat from Georgiou, who wanted to say congrats on becoming on the 100K. How do you become a member? You just simply need to push that subscribe button. You might be the 100,000th. God, how do you say this? 100,000th and first. Yeah. Who knows? Yeah, that's a mouthful. I reckon and then you just push membership, and you pay whatever it is, and it'll be the best payment you make. Trust me. And I think we might have Sim. We might have all systems a go, because I think Simian may have sorted out his sound. Can you hear me, Simian?
Yeah, I'm in.
Congratulations.
Took my time.
Congratulations, sir. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. It's I'm coming off the leaving the game, having won 1-0, and to see that we've hit 100K as well was just like a double whammy of elation. It really was. Also, it's been a brilliant day so far, an amazing start to the year, and I can't thank everyone enough for all the support they've given us over the years, getting us to where, like, look, we're nothing without our supporters and people who follow us and people who subscribe to us and our fans. And it's been an amazing journey so far. It really has. It's been unbelievable. I can't quite believe we've hit that kind of number. 100,000 seemed very alien to me when we first started. Like, I couldn't believe we were going to get anywhere near that. But now we're here, and it doesn't quite feel so real, but it feels surreal. That's what it feels. But to get it on a day that Tottenham win as well in the last minute, it makes it even sweeter. So it's brilliant day.
The same thing comes in threes, doesn't it? New Year's Day, Tottenham in away, and you hit the milestone that you've been working so damn hard for, and absolutely.
And Brian, mate, I have to give you so much credit because, you know, at the start of the day, I think we were on like 650 something. I don't know what it was, and I was like, oh, we might hit it today. You know, it's a watch along. Maybe we'll get 100 or so. Maybe we'll hit it tomorrow. And then Brian, I don't know what you were doing. I was watching the game, but I don't know what you were doing to the supporters. But I was like, looking, I was like, oh shit, it's going up quite a lot. What's going on here? And then I didn't quite see 100 until after the game. But I was like, Brian must be doing something because we've just jumped loads of subscribers. And Ben was telling me how you were just pushing it all the time. So I want to thank you so much. Look, you've obviously been a massive support of the channel for a very long time now, and really appreciate all your support and always being there. You know, if we want to chat or anything, and you're good for your friend now. So that's what I love how the community and that we've created, and we've created friends, not just supporters and followers, which is really amazing stuff. And and also I just want to say quickly about Bob. Obviously, still thinking of him and hoping he pulls through and he keeps fighting. I'm sure he will. And I just want to say that before we move on.
Yeah, Sim, did you hear the update I gave, or shall I give you a call later on when we started the fan show?
I didn't hear the one at the start of the fan show.
Okay, so when we're all off and I get home, I'll give you a call and fill you in.
Okay, brilliant.
We can most certainly do that. But yeah, getting onto the game, obviously with Coach Stell. One thing I will say is obviously you could. The atmosphere, you guys done us proud again as always. Talk to us about the game and how it was looking from the away end.
Yeah, going to a game with Coach Dell is like having an M&F next to you, pretty much constantly the whole game. Just Jamie Carragher moving pieces along the board. That's how I feel when I'm sitting next to Stell, which is fun, and I really really appreciate it. It was just the experience. I'll give him that. But it was really good. Look, the game itself. Very frustrating. Look, it was all Spurs, wasn't it? Tottenham completely dominated the game. It was pretty much attack versus defense. Watford sat back. They for some reason, despite being despite losing 5 games in a row, they're happy with a point apparently. So they didn't have any ambition to go forward. They were literally not a worry throughout the whole game. And it was literally, can Tottenham break him down? And we did find it extremely difficult. If Emerson could cross a ball, it would have been about 5-0 today. But literally, he has that. I'm starting to think that assist he got against Crystal Palace was a complete one-off because he had about 10 opportunities at least to get the ball in the box and get some quality, and he just failed. And not only did he have opportunities, he had time and space many, many times. So that's something he's really got to work on. One thing I would say about Emerson. Is at least he was constantly in that position. It takes a lot of athleticism and it's not easy to constantly be an option like he was in space. So that's a positive, but his final ball needs massive work. And I'm not surprised that that's one of the biggest positions we're looking to upgrade because he doesn't trust Doherty. So it's pretty much we only have Emerson. So as much as people are pointing out, oh, we need a right wing back because we need to upgrade on Emerson. I don't think it's so much we need an upgrade on Emerson, which I think we do, but we just need competition for him. And that's the main thing. And at the moment, it's like we have Emerson or bust. And that's why and it's such a taxing position. So that's probably the main reason we need that position to upgrade. And that's definitely one I'd look, because it's such an important role in Conte's system, that wing back role. We definitely need more options there than just Emerson. So, but yeah, I thought, we huffed and puffed and we weren't getting any spare change at Watford. They were very, very deep. Kane, Son and Lucas struggling big time to get space. Højbjerg and Skip struggling big time to create and have that little bit of guile and genius that, an Ndombele or Lo Celso can bring you. They did struggle. Only one moment really throughout the whole game. That was a brilliant over-the-top ball from Lucas into Son, who should have scored with the volley. That was the only real piece of quality which we opened up Watford with.
Yep.
All the other ones were just like we should have had a penalty, which a couple of times we could have had penalties through Dyer and whatever. There was another in the first half where Kane had a chance to hit the target. That came from a Watford mistake. We didn't really create a proper opportunity for our own quality, apart from that Lucas moment. That was pretty much the only moment I can remember off the top of my head, and that needs work. Like we can't. It's unacceptable for a team with the quality that we have. So that shows definitely a lot of work to do, and also. Maybe in games like this, he has to rethink how necessary a back three is, because obviously he changed it with 10 minutes to go. It was probably 10 minutes too late how the game was going, because I know, look, we'd obviously got the goal, fair play, we persevered. But we had the back three up until 80 minutes, and then we moved to a back four. All of a sudden, we put a little bit more pressure on them. And I think that back three, maybe he's got to think of when we are going for a goal like that, how necessary it is. I think every game, we should probably start with it, because I think it does give us a solid base. And Watford, let's be honest, had nothing going the other way. But I think he's got to think about maybe changing it a bit quicker when things are going like they did today.
100%. Carry on with Simian. I just need to go to the bathroom. Okay. I'll be right back. Excuse me, Simian. I'll be right back, sir.
It's all right, Brian. Don't worry about it.
I was going to ask your thoughts on Hugo today, because he pretty much had nothing to do, pulled off a worldy save. Maybe a penalty. There's sort of deciphering views on that. But how important is it that he signs that contract?
Yeah, I've always been a massive fan of Hugo. I've said it constantly, even when people have been on his back. I've been saying he's one of the top keepers in the league, and I think he's been that way for a long, long time. And he's been actually underrated. And I think finally people are starting to give him a bit more plaudits of late. But today, a goalkeeper. Sometimes in these kind of games, it's those one moment you're going to be used, and are you aware? Are you sharp? Are you up to the challenge? And Hugo was only needed really for that one save, and obviously we'll talk about the penalty in a minute. But he was only needed for it, and what a save it was, because that was an absolute brilliant effort from Josh King. And if he scores that, we lose today. Yeah, the heads will drop. We won't pick ourselves up and go back again, because we were finding it so difficult to break Watford down. If they were to take the lead, I reckon definitely that's 3 points gone. So he kept us one goal away from winning the game. That's probably what helped us win the game today. And it was a brilliant save from Josh King. It really was. And sometimes that's all you need when the opposition get one moment. You have to be there, and he was. For the penalty, look, from when I first saw it in the ground, it looked like he got a touch on it, but obviously you can't be too sure. Looking at the replay, it does seem as though João Pedro hit it onto Hugo. That's what I can see. It's very difficult angles, and you need I don't know, the replay I saw wasn't like HD or anything, so it's maybe a bit hard to see. Maybe it looks like João Pedro got there first, but it looks like he hit the ball onto Hugo's arm, and maybe that's why there's enough doubt not to give it if the referee hasn't given it. So maybe a bit lucky. It's very similar. I remember against Everton away, wasn't it? They gave a penalty, then overturned it.
Yep.
And it was hard to see Hugo getting a touch there, but he did. And I think it's a very similar situation in this one. So was he lucky? He's lucky in a sense that João Pedro got there first and he hit it onto him. So he is a bit lucky in that sense because he was second to the ball, but he did get a big chunk on the ball. So I do think in the end it wasn't a penalty.
Ben, how many of that team that started today do you think start Wednesday?
I think that's our first 11. I think that's the 11 he really trusts. We're playing Chelsea, aren't we? So the only difference I see is potentially Winks coming in for one of for Lucas, pretty much. That's the only change. Apart from that, I think you're guaranteed 10 of those players starting at least.
Yeah,
that's the only change I see. We might change it to a 3-5-2.
I think we should get a Griezmann, don't you, Simian?
Bring him in before Wednesday. He might make the bench. He might make the bench, maybe.
What Winks he came on did good again, didn't he? He had a little interlude to do, and he came on and he held his own once again. Deserves a lot of credit.
He helped us move the ball quicker when things were going a bit stale, didn't he? So I think he was again another positive cameo.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly is doing bits. I think he's forced himself into serious first-team consideration at the moment with the performance he's been putting in.
Yeah, definitely. I can agree with that, especially when we just look very Look. Today we're still looking solid, right? We're looking hard to like play against, and I think that's what Conte definitely values, a team that's definitely difficult to play against, and which is, we were quite good with our ball recovery today, especially in the first half. I felt Watford, they never had any sort of spell on the ball. We were so aggressive and hounding them when they won possession back, and I think that's a big part of what Conte wants to do. And obviously Skip and Højbjerg were very big with that, and so that's fair play to them, and in that sense they did well. But on the ball, it's just they're not moving the ball quick enough into dangerous areas, and we know Vera Harrowinks is very good at doing that. So maybe playing Skip and Højbjerg in this system against a team like Watford, who are sitting back, isn't the best way. But having said that, we had some chances to score, and we all know if one goal goes in, and Watford have to open up a bit, all of a sudden it's a different game.
Yeah.
But as long as it's 0-0 and Watford are sitting back and Watford are putting 10 men behind the ball, obviously it's going to be very difficult. So it's a difficult one for Conte. I understand what Conte is thinking, because he's thinking if we get that early goal, if we get an early goal quick, for example, Skip wins that ball very high up the pitch, it falls to Kane. If he scores that, if he puts us 1-0 up, it's a different game, and all of a sudden Watford have to come at us a bit. And all of a sudden it opens up and we might win 2 or 3-0, and no one's talking about, us struggling to break down a Watford team. But, I think in these scenarios, when we didn't get the goal, and the longer the game went on, it becomes very evident that these players are not very equipped to breaking down low block defences.
So I was going to ask that. I've completely forgot what it was, for crying out. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Obviously, you were at the game. What was the feelings for Son's performance from the fans that were all with you? Because again, we spoke about this the other day, didn't we? We were together yesterday, and yes, he got the assist, but his overall play wasn't his normal high standard again, was it? So what was it like in the stands?
Yeah, I don't think anyone was getting on his back in the stands. He did seem a bit off it. I was saying that to Stell, especially in the first half. He didn't seem completely 100% sharp like he's been. But as my brother said, I was listening to his call, but I think he's right. It's, when you're coming up against a low block, unless Son is getting, a long shot off, it's very difficult for him to really be effective, as effective as he is when he's running into space, which is why against Liverpool, at home, although he didn't have the best game, he's so much more dangerous because there's all that space to run into. They play such a high line, and Son can do that all day long, and he can be picked out by wings and whatnot. But as soon as there's not a lot of space to run into, it becomes a lot more difficult for a player like him. I think he actually did well to get that chance for Lucas. It was a great run, and unfortunately he didn't get enough on that volley, which was a brilliant one-handed save from the Watford keeper. He'll be disappointed he didn't score. But at the end of the day, he not only did he get the assist, he also won the free kick when he was on the left-hand side as well. Pretty sure he had 2 players on him and did well to win the free kick. He had that chance. So, look, there could be ways to improve, but I wouldn't. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything to get worried about as of yet for Sonny. I'm not worried about him. He just, it wasn't his best day, but he still contributed really well to the team, didn't he? And he did more than some other players. So I wouldn't single him out for anything.
Would you definitely start him against Chelsea on Wednesday?
Oh, it's not even a question.
Yeah. You have to. That's the kind of game he'll turn up. That's the kind of game he'll turn up and be like, here we go, have some of me.
We need Son against Chelsea.
You doubted me. Here we are.
And Simian, obviously, again, with you at the game, did you get any updates or no, actually, what happened with the Watford fan that was unfortunately taken ill? Was there?
There was no, I don't exactly know what happened. There was no update into specifics in terms of what actually happened to him.
Yep.
There was an announcement just before play started saying that play had stopped temporarily and due to a health emergency in the ground, but the physios or whatever believe that the situation is under control and they're happy for play to continue. So, and I also saw a lot of the Watford fans were clapping that fan. So I believe he seems to be okay. He seems to be stable. Good. So I think there's nothing to worry about from that. And I think, I think it's a good situation where he's come out okay. But I don't know if it actually was a heart issue or whatever it was. I don't have specifics on that.
There we go. So there we go. So also, I just want to say very quick, Amian Arif, welcome to Silver. So the subscribers are still going up, Sim. We're still going up and up and up and up and up. But Simian, your favourite moment? We got Ben's. I bet yours is to be the same as Ben. It's got to be. I
didn't actually. I must have turned off. I didn't hear what Ben's was, but I've got my one.
So
it might be the same. It might be the same, but it's got to be. We've just beaten Arsenal at Wembley 1-0, and we're at the Novotel celebrating the post-match celebrations, and all the fans. And we're there with my grandpa and Ben, and we're just having a drink post-match, and all the fans start chanting, "Fucking love Grandad, fucking love Grandad, fucking love Grandad, fucking love Grandad, fucking love Grandad." And literally the whole Novotel was chanting it, and there was a very special moment for my grandpa and us, and that was fantastic. Just after beating Arsenal as well, that was brilliant. So, in terms of look, I wouldn't say I have one like massive favorite moment, but like because it's been an amazing journey overall. But that moment definitely stands out for me.
Okay, so your brother chose a different one. Your brother chose a certain night in Ajax in Amsterdam.
Yeah, that's probably my highlight as a Spurs fan. But in terms of as just like a channel owner, that would probably be that moment with my grandpa. That was unbelievable.
Here's to 100,000 more memories being created with all you guys, Simian, and obviously I will see you here tomorrow.
Looking forward to it,
I
Brian.
might as well just move in here. There's a nice couch. I might as well,
pull the couch out. The couch is pretty comfortable, Brian.
There you go.
Get a good night's sleep, though.
I'll just keep it. When I go on a plane home to Canada, I'll just come and I'll take refuge in the We Are Tottenham TV studio. But Simian, I can't wait to see you tomorrow, buddy, and have a wonderful evening. And we'll speak tomorrow.
Thank you. You too, man.
I'll call you
job
later
today on the fan show and on the watch-alongs. Unbelievable stuff. And to you, Phil, as well. Good stuff. Thank you very much for filling in for us. And look, here's some more milestones. And it's been a very, very humbling to see all these messages after we hit this milestone. But here's some more. We keep going. And I want to thank every single one of you for contributing, because this show is nothing without you guys as well.
And Siri, I'll give you a call when I get home to update you on Bob with the latest. You're in the loop, so I'll give you a call when I get back. All right, buddy?
Thanks a lot, Brian.
Congratulations. Thanks for the call.
See you later, sir.
See you soon.
See you, Phil.
See you later, buddy. Okay, so I think we got how many more? We got 3 or 4 in the back end now. Okay, and now we've got King of the Clips. So I've got to be careful. I've got to be careful of my P's and Q's right now. I've got to be very careful because we're going to bring on Cody Mac.
It's Clippy Mac.
How are we, sir?
Clippy.
I'm good. How are you guys?
Yeah, I am doing fantastic. All the better for seeing you, Cody. So first of all, Happy New Year to you, buddy.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you.
And so what did you think of that performance?
Well, before we get into the game, can we just stop and appreciate how Ben and Sim both came on and made rookie mistakes as far as being like, did Grandpa not show them how this stuff works? Are they that far removed from being on the other side of the camera that they don't know how shit works? That was hilarious. Amateur hour.
We had Ben on mute, Simian could get his speakers working. Yeah, it was, that's very, very true. So we could like we said, the game, Cody, what was your thoughts on that game?
Oh, man, that was horrible to watch. That was like watching Burnley play Burnley, you know? You've got Watford, who are not interested in the least in actually playing football. Like, what's going on is, like, these lesser teams are setting up against us as if we're Manchester City. But our players, like, and that's the Conte effect, right? Like, teams are scared shitless because we've got Conte now. And we've been found out a little bit as far as, like, thriving on the counterattack and whatnot.
Yeah.
But we don't have Man City quality, especially, like, Man City probably have 7 midfielders that walk into our starting 11. Like, it was a really tough watch. But you know what? I think we've earned a little bit of luck, and we got a little bit lucky there at the end of the game in terms of. I only saw the one replay. I'm not sure it was a penalty for on Lloris on that one play, but you know, I think it was almost the perfect result because we got the 3 points, but also all of the deficiencies in the squad and the team were also on full display for anybody watching that might think that we might be able to get top 4 without spending money in January. Let's call him Daniel L. Or that's a little bit obvious. Let's say D. Levy, like spend some money, give this man some tools to break down low blocks like this, because man, we can't keep dropping points like we did against Southampton and like we came close to today. So
Yep.
it was a woeful entertainment experience, that's for sure.
Doing the watchdog, we were more concerned about getting to the 100,000 than the game at passed. But the one thing I will say, which we haven't spoken about, started off the season, we lost to Chelsea, Arsenal, and West Ham in derbies, and now we've beaten West Ham, Brentford. We've got Palace, and now we've done Watford. The London results are coming in. We're in a bit of form going into London derbies, and we've got 3 very, very big ones coming up. But who stood out for you today, Cody, if anyone?
Well, I mean, Lloris made that save look a little bit easier. That is a world-class save. That is a match-saving, result-saving, point-preserving save. And Hugo has made a lot of those types of saves this season. He's going to have to empty his pockets. There's so many points that he's saved for us in there. So that, I mean, especially when you're a keeper and the other team is not in the game whatsoever, and you know how hard it is to maintain your focus and be ready. Yeah. I know Hugo is the utmost professional, but I just admire that man so much. And I really hope that by the end of this month, there's a 2-year contract extension signed, sealed, and delivered, because we really can't afford to lose Hugo Lloris, because he's such quality. We almost can't find a keeper of his quality to replace him with. And if we do find a keeper of his quality, it's going to be so expensive that it's going to take away resources that are best spent in other areas of need. We have areas of need all over the pitch, and that was something that was on full display today. But it was just tough. It's just tough, we just don't. We don't have a team built to break down those low blocks, and there weren't too many players that really stood out. Skippy, I thought, was doing bits there in the first half, and as far as, and Højbjerg was doing his thing, but it comes at such a price to have that double pivot with the 2 CDMs. It really forces us to play wide, and Reguilon and Emerson have both been pretty woeful going forward lately, if we're being honest. I'm not necessarily selling my stocks, as they're both young players, and they've both had good games and flashes of brilliance. But man, if Conte wants to play a system that relies on wingbacks providing output, we might need new wingbacks. That's for sure.
What do you think of Reguilon today, actually, Cody? Reguilon, it was kind of in and out, wasn't he? Attacking, he looks a little bit sharper, but in defence, he's looking a little bit off the pace.
Yeah, I'm not sold that he is suited to Premier League football and the physicality of it. He tends to lose his head a little bit. He tends to get involved in these spats with players, and finds himself on a yellow card here and there. It's so frustrating, because I thought he really hit the ground running with us at the start of last season when we first acquired him. But ever since basically the last 12 months, he's been really questionable, and we haven't seen nearly as much of the magic going forward that we saw in his first few months. I thought maybe it was just something like him and Bale seemed to have a real chemistry between the two of them. I don't know if that's a Real Madrid effect. It's quite possible, but he just seems to be struggling at the moment, and I can't really put my finger on it. And I really hope it's not because he's not good enough. I hope it's just because he's just out of form a little bit.
We've still got to see if Real Madrid. I think they've got till this summer where that deal, obviously the transfer clause is the buyback. Thank you, Cody. See, this is why Cody for PR. Hashtag Cody for PR. He's got that buyback clause, and if Real Madrid, they've got till the summer to put it in. I don't know if they will, but if they do, would you? If they did, would you sell him?
Oh man. I think if I could secure an upgrade, I would think about it. That's for sure. If Sessegnon can stay healthy and show some promise that he would be a suitable backup to whoever that we acquire. But you know, if Madrid came in and wanted to, I mean, we don't really have a choice, right? Like if they decide to activate that buyback, and I think it's 40 million.
Yeah,
then,
it's just
then,
if Reguilon says yes or no.
Yeah, I think it's 45, and then it's literally down to Reguilon.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't know. It's a coin toss. We got to see some more from him. We got to see more than what we're seeing right now. That's for sure. Because there's been other issues as well. You know, he was part of that group of players that were caught partying during Christmas last year. He had this mysterious injury right after that, where there was a photo on his Instagram of him tobogganing in the snow in London, and then suddenly he was hurt, and he hasn't been the same since that, really. So there are definitely questions with Reguilon.
So okay. You right now. You're Antonio Conte. Let's picture this. I can see you easily donning the Conte look. You've got the chance to get a couple of. Where do you see us needing to strengthen in January? Right now, if you were in charge.
We have to strengthen everywhere. So it's really difficult. It's difficult because we can't strengthen everywhere. So we have to pick an area where we can still take the remaining pieces that might need improvement and fit them in the best balancing way as possible. I feel like we need a top class left-sided center back. I feel like we need a top creative midfielder. I feel like we need a top option up front to play with Kane and Son or provide them rest. We have there's not really a position at this point that you can say that we have locked down and sorted. We need there's areas of need all over the pitch, but I know this would be an unpopular opinion, but if we're not going to be able to address every need in this transfer window, I think that we should double down and get the center back to pair with Christian Romero and whoever else. Because if Romero is going to end up being the Rolls Royce that he's shown signs of being, and proven to be in the Serie A, and you get another Rolls Royce in the back end, you're set back there for 5 years. Now you can cover up some of the other deficiencies in the squad. Now you can have a midfielder who is more attacking and creative in the squad, and not have to worry about him tracking back as much, right? And maybe if Hugo has decided to leave, then it's all the more important that we get another center back so that we're not putting whoever his successor is under unnecessary. Like, how many keepers make that save today in the world?
Yeah,
5. So we're not getting one of them to replace Hugo. So that means we have to be better. We have to be better in that back 5.
That's a really good way of looking at it, because I still think for me it's striker and a Christian Eriksen or playmaker. But you put a very good argument across for a centre back. You put a very good argument across for it, Cody. You think this will be the same lineup for Chelsea?
Yeah, probably. You have to figure if we start Skip and Højbjerg together in that pivot against Watford, that we're gonna probably see it against Chelsea. I was kind of surprised that we didn't see a more adventurous lineup. I was thinking it might be like Harry Winks coming in and giving Højbjerg a little bit of a break, because looking ahead, you would think that we need that double pivot with the CDMs against Chelsea more than we do against Watford. But that was the decision that he made, and you don't know what's going on with the squad. I trust the manager more than I've trusted any other manager since Poch's peak years. So I'm not going to sit here and question him and his decision making. He's got a reason for everything. And that's all the more reason that he needs to be given the keys to the Corvette so that we can get this club where it belongs in the table and lifting trophies like it should be.
Well, I mean, like I said, when we were doing the predicted lineup yesterday, the one position we were and ahhing about was Winks for Højbjerg. And Winks came on today and again did bits. He's really grabbing this opportunity, isn't he?
He is. And it's not just a one-off now. We've seen it three games in a row where he looks like a different player. Yep. It looks like something in his mindset has changed. He's been instructed to be more aggressive and attacking and creative, and he's taking chances, and we need that. And he still has his limits. I don't think that he's necessarily a player that we would want playing a starting 11 role if we're going to be serious about winning league titles and being a lock to finish top 4. But Harry Winks has earned the right to stay at Spurs if he wants to, and it's nice to see him playing well.
It is. And let's start moving on to obviously this great channel there, 100,000. I mean, the great thing is obviously you and me live in the same country. What I call home is the same country as you, and I've got to get to know you in Canada. I've got to meet you in Canada just through this incredible channel. As you know, we met for the Man City game and had a great day together on the first day of the season. Hopefully, when I get back, we'll have many more. But what's been your favourite memories on the channel since you've been on the scene, Cody?
Well, before I get into that, I do just want to say to Ben and Sim, if they're watching still, that this past year, 2021, has to have been maybe the toughest year in so many people's lives, and I'm not above that either. It was a really, really tough year with the pandemic and being at home with a new baby and everything like that. Coming on this show, like the first time I came on this show, it was shortly thereafter that you reached out to me to come on Tottenham Away for the Arsenal preview, and the relationships and the network of people that I've met and the beautiful friendships that have blossomed as a result of making that first appearance on We Are Tottenham TV, it's completely changed my life. Absolutely. The amount of like excellent conversation and friendships and people that I'm very close with now, I owe that all to coming on We Are Tottenham TV the first time. But in terms of so like, good on you guys for just really and I try and tell them as often as I can that, you know, they're doing God's work here, and it's a service to people, and it's just so valuable to people's mental health.
Yep.
I just
Ben and Simian are watching. They're in the comments. They are watching. They are hearing you.
Yeah, well, to the two of you guys, I just, from the bottom of my heart, I'm just so grateful for everything that you do. Love this channel. Love you guys. Love Grandpa. Love and for God's sake, you better start paying your tech guys more, because they're cleaning up your mess. It's pretty clear from now that you guys don't know what you're doing, if you know what I'm saying. But in terms of like favorite moments, I think for me, there's so many, but the Super League. When the Super League happened, these guys took the fight right to the doorstep of Daniel Levy and the board of Tottenham Hotspur. They stood up. They stood up for their principles. They stood up for other fans in the club. They got attention. They ended up on Sky Sports. They protested. They led the charge against that Super League and showed these owners that it is the fans that the club are founded on. It's not their right to take that. And during that whole debacle, when other channels were saying were not as vocal about it and didn't want to get their hands dirty or didn't want to risk their relationship with the club, these guys told it how it was, and it made me so proud to support this channel, and it still does. So for me, that is one of the standout moments for sure.
Fantastic. Well, Cody, you know it's always a pleasure. I know I haven't said anything silly that you can't clip me on today, so I'm, which I'm kind of happy about. And obviously, we will speak very, very soon, buddy.
All right, great job, guys. Take care. Glory.
Take care, my man.
Okay,
See you
all the
later,
best,
brother.
Cody.
Do you know what that dude is? I've had the honour of meeting him, and not only is he's exactly what you see. He is such a top dude. He's a dear friend now, like I said, with this community. And talking of dear friends, we've got a brand new person coming on who's a very dear friend to us all, making his We Are Tottenham TV debut from Shelfside Spurs. Everybody welcome Rez. So, hello, Rez, sir.
How are you?
You okay? You're on mute.
Oh, you're on mute.
There we go.
Now there's the voice that we know and love.
How are you, sir?
Happy New Year to you guys. Very
Thank
well,
you.
thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Good. So, what was your thoughts on the game?
3 words: dull as ditchwater. But it was good. It was good to get the 3 points, and I think we're not there yet. But you know, it'd be nice if we strove for that sort of ideal of the sign of a good team is one that plays badly and still wins. So yeah, you know, it's good. 3 points, and I'm happy with that.
We should be. And like we were just saying before, it's we're coming into a bit of form on London derbies at long last, and we got quite a few coming up. So we're on a good bit of forward. It's just such a relief to get that monkey off the back and say, right, here we go. We got the away win. We got a clean sheet. And now things can start to happen. So, so any standout performance for you by any chance?
I think it's been echoed a couple of times. I think Lloris pulled off some amazing saves, or an amazing save. Two actually. There were a couple, I think. That fingertip one from, I don't know who the Watford player was basically full stretch to his left and just got his fingers to it right at the end. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I was just singing to myself, you know, where's the contract? Where's the contract? Because it's got to be on the table, ready for signature now, as far as I'm concerned. I think, I mean, what Brian, you've mentioned it a couple of times. I think what Man United did with Van der Sar. When they knew that his career was coming to an end, you know, they gave him a short-term extension and went all out and found their replacement for him. And that's what we need to be doing with Lloris, I think. He's got 2 good years in him left, I reckon. And that's plenty of time to find his successor.
Exactly, it's definitely not Galini. When we first signed Galini, I thought the way the business and the deal had been structured was fantastic, just in case Lloris did leave. And I thought it'd be a good sign to see that he knew the English league. He'd been at Atalanta, but it hasn't. All right, he hasn't had a lot of games, but it hasn't worked out. I can't confidently say that if Lloris was to walk out the door, I'm delighted to say that Galini's in goal. Let's put it that way. So but the back three again, Rez. What do you think of the back three again today?
Yeah, very competent. You know, I think Dyer made one slight slip up. Sanchez had one moment in the first half, but other than that, it was good to see these 3 players who I think within our fan base will have those that will defend them, but are quite widely slated, or were quite widely slated by a large section of our fan base because of their general performances. But since Conte has come in, all 3 of them have really shown some real competence. I would never have thought it possible. I really wouldn't. And another player, like with Harry Winks today, when we were sort of struggling to break Watford down, and I saw him warming up on the side of the pitch, I thought to myself, good, okay, maybe we'll get something. And I never thought I'd think that about Harry Winks.
Yeah.
You know, it was all for him to leave. But whereas in contrast to a certain Monsieur Ali, who he has taken, as you say, he has taken the opportunity with both hands. 3 good games on the trot, and I wouldn't be pushing him towards the exit door just yet.
No, I think he's firmly away from the door. I think he's gone back in and sat by the fireplace and put your feet up and relax because you've got yourself out of jail. I think he was very close to being out, but that's the thing. He's got to take his opportunity, and you can't argue that that's what he's doing. But you just mentioned Ali, having Ali and Ndombele not even on the pitch at any time or even come on. Do you reckon that's exit door awaits?
Please God, let it be so.
I mean, I didn't even see them warm up. I didn't even see them warm up today. So it coupled with the comments in the media from Conte, you know, he's a midfielder. It kind of suggests that it's adios, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Ndombele, very early on, Conte said he needs to. I mean, essentially, he said he needs to understand that it's not playing for himself that's important. It's just playing for the team.
Yep.
And he was utilized a few times, and now it's radio silence, complete radio silence when it comes to Ndombele in terms of him even making an appearance. Alistair Gold was talking about it, about how his warm-ups seem to be so lackluster, just complete disinterest almost. He'll stand there watching the game rather than actually attending to the things that he needs to be doing as a professional. And that, for me, is a sign of a player who I don't want at our club. I want players that will work their socks off, you know, being flair players or otherwise. The ones that we worship from our history, all of them still worked very hard.
Yep.
And he doesn't. And so, and Dombele, as far as I'm concerned, has burnt his bridges. Delhi, I still, that tiny little stupid part of me still had hopes that he would, you know, grasp the opportunity. But I just think he's a limited player. That he just won't be able to. He won't be able to do a job for us, even if he wanted to, whether he wants to or not. So
it does certainly feel a complete lack of trust from Conte for the pair of them, doesn't it? And he talked very much about Harry Winks the other day, saying he's somebody I trust, and that for me spoke absolute volumes, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, we had high hopes for Winks when he had that game against Real Madrid, very, very young.
Yep.
We thought this guy, his ceiling, you know, if he's got a high ceiling, he could be an amazing midfielder. Now that he's 25, obviously that potential might have diminished a little, but there's still the potential for him to be able to do a job for us, given what he's shown over the last 3 games. It's still not all in. Yes, Harry Winks' club, you know, has been resurrected, but the potential exists.
Yep.
Delhi hasn't demonstrated that. Delhi has not demonstrated that there's any justification for resurrecting the Dele Alli fan club. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think that ship's sad. He did it against Mourinho, didn't he? When he started off on fire, did that West Ham debut with a little flick on his floor, scored the great goal against United. I was like, here we go, and back to time. It's just Newcastle's been rude, but I just can't see him going to Newcastle because obviously the thought of Newcastle going down. And then they can cover his wages with their finances, but he's not going. If he's giving us attitude like that, going down into the Championship, I can only begin to imagine what he could be like. But let's talk about Harry Kane, Rez, because obviously Harry Kane has had a Grandpa said probably man of the match. He is looking so much sharper, isn't he?
Yes, definitely. He's getting back to the Harry Kane of old, and that actually fits in my mind. And obviously, you know, people might have different opinions. It does fit the sort of story that we've observed over the last so it's January, let's say 6 months, 7 months, in that he was probably, I would imagine, he was sick and tired of Spurs. And just and seeing this club that he wants to do well and that he wants to do well for, not making the right decisions to progress the club forward. That's not me justifying anything that he might or might not have done, only that it explains it. And it also explains his lack of form under Nuno and a sort of resurgence now under Conte. All of those things are explained better. And my hope is that he's now got whatever it was that was on his mind out of his mind now, and he can concentrate on his football again, and just get back to the Harry Kane that is a world-class player.
Yeah,
which we know he is.
Without a doubt. Hopefully, it will be just in time for the small little London derbies that are coming up in the very, very close proximity. Hopefully, he'll bang quite a few within those games. But Rez, obviously, you've been watching We Are Tottenham TV for a while. I believe this is your debut, so I'm truly honoured to have you on your debut of this wonderful channel. So, from the time...
Long time listener, first time caller.
Very good. Very well. What do you say is your favourite moment that you've seen since you've been watching We Are Tottenham TV?
I have to say, to be honest, I love watching Ben and Sim doing sort of watch-alongs, talking about this. A lot of the content on here is absolute top-notch. I have to say, I've got a bit of a weird favorite moment, and it was me. I ended up, when I really, really, really should have been doing some work, I ended up spending about an hour and 45 minutes watching them play FIFA. And I just sat there, and at first it was like, yeah, okay, this is interesting. And towards the end of that sort of hour and 45 minutes, I was going, shoot, no, pass it that way. No, it's over.
And somehow they managed to completely replicate their FIFA team with Tottenham, didn't they? 4 games to go. We need 4 victories. We'll be home and dry in the top 4. Oh, we've just lost 3-0 to Leicester. And you're like,
exactly. Yeah.
We are Tottenham FIFA TV.
That's it. Everything they set their mind to, they do a wonderful job. But Rez, before I let you go, one of your, I'm going to let you. One of the reasons I'm happy you've come on is you get to plug your channel, because obviously I can see Ricky Villa, aka Jens, say to do it. Obviously, you've got a great little channel with Johnny Einstein and Jens, who has the best laugh on YouTube. As he's probably laughing as I say that. So let people know where they can find you as well, buddy.
Yeah, so I'm on the Shelfside Spurs show, hosted by the wonderful Johnny Einstein, and our regular lineup is Jens, Nick, Gaz, Kev, and myself. It's anarchic. We just talk about weird stuff as well as Spurs. I'm also on the 4 Hotspur, the 4 Hotspurs as well, with Josh, Chris, and Phil. And if anyone wants to follow me on Twitter, they can. I'm at @bat_spur. And yeah, just come in, say hello, join the chat, and have some fun with us.
Rez, always a pleasure speaking to you, brother, and I'll speak to you very soon anyway, mate. Have a great evening, and thank you. Oh, I do want to say thank you to you, Phil and Kim, for tidying my house up last night when I went to bed early. I came down for a cigarette and my house was spotless. I was like, Jesus Christ. So thanks for the little clean up in aisle 5. That was very nice of you. But Rez, we will speak very, very soon, brother. All right.
You take care.
Take care, buddy.
Again, Rez.
Bye. Right, I think we've still got a couple in the queue. Have we got in the queue now? Oh, we got the king of the luck, because it's time for him. It's time for him to come on.
It's for them to.
Let's bring on Ben. How are you, Ben, sir?
I'm doing well. It's good to have a good win for once. I didn't know I'd be king of the luck, because I love that title. That's the best title ever.
I think it's gonna have to. I think it's gonna have to be. It's gonna have to be king of the luck, because after all the pictures and discussions we've had. Oh, I forgot to send you that joke. I'll send you the joke tonight. I said, I'll send you the joke tonight. But yes, what did you think of the performance today, Ben?
It was a very poor performance, but we got the win. I'm not happy with our current selection of fullbacks in terms of. There's a lack of competition. So even if they play badly, they can't get dropped for a game. So as much as I love Reggie, and I think Reggie is going to be a key to the way we play, he had multiple chances where he could have easily brought the ball down and put a ball in the box, and he's fluffed up most of them. Emerson is also still young, so he needs to learn to be a bit quicker going forward. But I think the true missing part of the team is we need someone to make some space for the rest of the players. We showed that there's no one to glue the front and the midfield, which is making a struggle against teams that play a low block. But
it's 3 points. It's a smash and grab, and we would have taken it at the beginning of the game, wouldn't you? If I said to you, right, 1-0, last minute goal, you're going to take it, aren't you?
Yeah, you've got to take it. I mean, under Nuno, we'd have lost that game. That shows how far we've come under an elite football manager. And he's getting the best out of players like Harry Winks, he's a totally different player under Mr. Conte. But they're showing real togetherness, and they're grinding out games. And yes, they can play better. Yes, they can be they can be better against the low block. But if they win games, I don't think any of us will care. It's all about winning games at the end of the day.
Completely.
Yeah, absolutely. But who was kind of the standout today? Which is probably a very tough question.
You've got to give it to Sanchez for his defensive performance was excellent. he was excellent today defensively with a couple of our other centre-backs, not totally at the races, but they put the work in. But getting that header in the last moment and his overall defensive display today, he was excellent covering that right wing back position as well when Emerson was going forward. And there is a player there. Conte is getting into all these players, and they're starting to really show what quality they have. I was slated on this very channel by a lot of people by saying Sanchez is a decent player, and he's starting to show it in the last 3 or 4 games.
Exactly.
So onwards and upwards.
Being coached, isn't it?
Well, it's not just that he's being coached. People got to remember. I mean, I have always been with Ben with this because I've been on the Sanchez side and bigging him up recently. When he first came, he played in the back 3. All right, yes, he had Toby and Yan, which was the best partnership we've ever seen in the Premier League and probably one of the best defensive partnerships in Spurs history. But he played in the back 3 and he looked more comfortable. And he's playing in the back 3 now. He's more comfortable. During the watch log, I remember you saying, would you take someone off and make it a back 4 so you lose a defender? And then I was like, no, don't do it a back 4 because then that's when these centre-backs go back 4 and Ben Davies, that's when the errors seem to come. But having that extra person there to help them and guide them is giving them a little bit more confidence, a little bit more assurance. And I agree totally with Ben that Sanchez recently and under the Conte era, you got to remember he started the Conte era by almost having his eye taken out against Vitesse and coming on with a bandage on his head, being an absolute warrior.
Totally agree. Imagine we can get another centre-back just to challenge Dyer a bit, because Dyer's also been playing quite well, but we can obviously upgrade. Maybe Romero will take Dyer's spot. A lot of people have been saying that Sanchez is the one to lose their spot when Romero comes back in. Maybe Dyer's the one that is going to make way for Romero, so we can have a bit more of an aggressive centre-back in the middle to push into midfield and play those balls, because again, that's Romero's style of play, so maybe he's the one to drop out. And we need to focus on getting another left centre-back. But
well, this is the thing, Ben, because I actually thought when we signed Romero, I literally thought he was going to be the centre of back 3. I really did. I can't confess to have known so much about him. I knew he played in Italy, but I hadn't watched a lot of him. And I thought he was coming in as the centre of a back 3. But obviously Conte played him on the right. So you may be right. He may be able to play centrally, but we need to have that rotation, don't we? We've got the players there. We need the rotation. If we're going to try against the Champions League, if we're going to try against the Father Carabao Cup, if we're going to try and proceed in the FA Cup, we need to rotate. And defence is that defensive partnership for me is the most important partnership on the pitch. So that has to be right. And it looks like they've got it right at the moment. They deserve all the credit, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Especially Sonny was very poor today, but you've got to give him credit. As soon as he got a chance to put a mean ball into the box, he delivered with a great cross. So hopefully that gives Sonny a bit of confidence. But back to the point of defence. Defence wins you championships. It wins you games. And the way to have a good defence is by putting personalities together. You can have 2 really brilliant defenders, but might not work as a partnership together.
Yeah.
We've got to bring another centre. Can only look from there. Would be ideal because it's clear that Doherty is not the man for the job.
Surplus to requirements, let's say, shall we?
And don't we all hope so? How big?
Surplus to requirements.
How big is Lloris for us? With the contract situation, basically today, literally did nothing all game and then pulled off a worldie.
I mean, I've been saying this for years. Hugo Lloris deserves the statue of the season every year. I know Harry Kane's getting the plaudits, but without a captain like Hugo, you cannot have this team. He's shown how good he is, and he deserves stupid money. Needs to earn 300k. He deserves a bumper contract, and we need to do it now. If he leaves for free in the summer, we've got to really start having protests at this club, because he is an unbelievable captain for us.
We won't need to worry about starting protests, mate. Not whilst I'm here. There'll be one
to my right.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, he is vital. It's losing a goalkeeper. It's losing a captain. You don't replace Hugo Lloris. Like Resh just said before, and I've been saying it when they got De Gea, when they got rid of Van der Sar, They made sure they got the right guy. Yes, De Gea didn't start well, but they knew what they could see, and they knew if they trained him up and bulked him up, what he could become, and he's done that. And this is a position we can't let him go. We can't let him go. And if we do let him go, it's another bit of mismanagement, not offering a contract within 5 years. He's proven his, even if you give him a year's extension. Give him a year's extension, and just for the next 18 months, you look for a goalkeeper, and make sure you make your move quickly. Because if we lose him, that transfer budget that we thought we would have for next summer, you're spending a large majority of it replacing the goalkeeper, because they do not come cheap.
No, and even more so if you know that Tottenham are looking for a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
You know, Henderson's, your Popes, whoever. You know, I'm just plucking those two, but if you're suddenly looking for someone like that, how much is it going to cost us to take a Henderson from Man U?
Oh, minimum 45 million, minimum, because he's a quality goalkeeper, and he's in his own right. He's a quality goalkeeper. He'll try and force his way out, of course, because he wants first team football, and David De Gea is not showing that he's going anywhere anytime soon with his performances. But players can play, goalkeepers can play till they're 40 quite easily. Brad Friedel did it, and he was excellent when he was 40. And the example I bring up is Pat Jennings. Pat Jennings was well too young to leave Tottenham when he went to the scum all those years ago, and we let him go. And we should not be letting Hugo Lloris, because a team like the scum would love a Hugo Lloris at their club, even though Ramsdale is very, very good at the moment. But another top team that will need a Hugo Lloris. There's a lot of teams that need a Hugo Lloris, and we should keep him at the club because he is a legend.
100% agree with you, Ben. Anyone else stand out for you today?
Oh, Oliver Skipp was brilliant as usual, but it's duck to water that Oliver Skipp is the best player on the pitch for the most part. I really enjoyed Harry's performance. Harry Kane. He was aggressive. He was brilliant on the ball. Yes, he could have got a goal, but he's showing that he's got the desire to win football matches. But for the most part, it was a crap performance, so they won the game, and that's all that matters for me.
Yeah. Exactly. This really is all right. We've got the Carabao Cup final, but it's all right. We've got to have the rearranged games, but this should be now easing off of the every single 2 days, every single 2 days, every single 2 days. We've got Chelsea, then Morecambe, Chelsea, Arsenal, and then it'll be kind of battle. So hopefully now at least the players will get a little bit of respite. They'll get a little bit of recovery time. And a majority of our games this month are in London anyway, so it's not exactly they've got far to travel. So hopefully all of this now will start building some serious confidence and making some serious inroads into that Champions League position. What do you reckon, Ben?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I sort of like these games coming thick and fast, big games, because you want to play big games often because it keeps you in that mindset. If you have a big game once in a while, you might not be able to prepare yourself for it. But if they keep on coming, the manager is going to keep them every day. Their brain is going to be in the right position to win football matches. And I reckon we will terminate these next couple of games. I think the manager is fully on a roll. And if the powers that be actually bring some signs to help him, we could have a very, very successful season this year. So back the manager.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so, sir. So Ben, obviously, I've met you through We Are Tottenham TV. You and me talk regularly now, and everything is brilliant. I can't wait to come to your coffee shop. Should be this week, like I said. Your favourite moment since you've been watching We Are Tottenham TV is?
It's got to be the Lucas Moura thing, just because it just brings happy memories back of that particular time. I know it's a generic response, and I could say any other useless thing but we've really built a community around these Tottenham channels. Whether it's here, whether it's on the Irish Hotspur, whether it's on my little channel, Tottenham Tantrum Gold. We're really building a great community of people that are becoming great friends with each other. And big up all the small communities that are propping up around this brilliant channel. Tottenham on tour as well.
I'm joking.
It's brilliant that we're all becoming the best of friends already within a short space of time. And this channel is the start of it, in my opinion. It's the iceberg that caused an avalanche.
Oh, yeah. As I call this place, this is the mothership.
Mothership, yeah.
Yeah.
This is without a doubt the mothership. But Ben, we're going to let you go. It's always a pleasure, and I'm sure I'll see you on your channel this week. But I am coming to your coffee shop this week for sure.
I'll be willing to welcome you. Bring anyone you want.
I'll probably be with my auntie. So
It'll be great to have you.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to coming down and seeing you, buddy. It'll be great to meet you in person.
Just give me a shout, mate.
I will do, brother. Trust me. And have a great evening. And come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
I'll see you on our channel very soon then.
Okay, so I think we got a couple more. And who we got next? Okay. It's someone very, very special to me. It's someone who's currently in Amsterdam. It's currently someone that's part of Tottenham on tour. This guy needs no introduction, but it all goes by, and everybody do-do-do, Danny Kyriakou, do-do-do, Danny Kyriakou. Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year to you guys. How are you both doing?
I'm good. First of all, how are you feeling, and how is Sana? Because obviously, is it you that's caught it, or Sana's that caught it?
No, she's caught it. She's doing all right. She's up and down quite a bit, but she's had it for about a week now, well, just under a week. So I'm fine. I tested again today. I'm negative again, so I don't think I'm going to catch it. Hopefully not. But yeah, she's up and down. Hopefully by mid next week she'll be all right. So yeah, she's getting there. She's getting there.
Good. So first of all, when are you due home?
I'm due home. My flight's tomorrow, as long as I have got no negative tests, because I've been quarantined basically for the week.
Okay.
So I've got to do another negative test tomorrow, and as long as it's negative, then I can come home. If it's not, then obviously I have to delay it till midweek next week. Yeah.
Okay. So let's get on to Tottenham Hotspur. What did you think of the game, my brother?
I thought it was abysmal, to be honest with you. I mean, it was a joke. I mean, today. Look, I'm delighted we got the 3 points. I mean, it's to get 3 points when you play absolute shockingly, basically. It is a good sign. It's great for us. We did need a bit of luck, and I know a lot of the players that weren't at the races today. I know Harry Kane had a good game. We'll get onto that after. And Son again is not the greatest today, but obviously his quality ball and Sanchez's brilliant header got us the 3 points. And I mean, today probably didn't deserve it, but look, it is 3 points. And today I think proved a lot in terms of what we actually need to if we want to challenge for top 4 this season. We need I think we need a creative midfielder, another creative midfielder who's going to give us some better chances, because I think today was crying out for someone like Ndombele or like a Lo Celso, or someone who was just going to find that sort of intricate pass or that incisive pass. But obviously, for whatever reason, we know Lo Celso hasn't been. He's been injured pretty much all the time. Is Lamela 2.0, and Ndombele, he doesn't want to play football anymore. To be honest with you, I don't think he wants to play football for anyone. If I'm honest, so he's just happy to take money wherever he goes. So
yeah, he's going to be gone. I think Dele Alli looks like he's on his way out. There's a few of them, but yeah, it was nice. We didn't do another Southampton and draw the match and then come away thinking, oh, for God's sake, we've done it again. A low block team, and we haven't penetrated them or played the way we should be playing against teams like that. Because I think a lot of it today, we were quite slow in the build-up play and the way we were passing the ball around. It was just very. It wasn't enough pass and move like kind of Conte we've kind of been accustomed to kind of seeing lately more and more of. I think, if I'm honest, right, I know a lot of us have talked about this, and I said it on the Irish Hotspur's channel this morning on the pre-match show, that if it was me, I would have started Winks instead of Højbjerg, and I think Højbjerg needed a rest. Just because I think Winks, the way he played against Southampton, he was one of our best players because of the amount of chances he gave to other people. And he was involved in 3 key chances at Southampton. And I think we were crying out for someone like him today. And when he came on, his cameo was pretty good defensively and offensively. He was pretty. He's showing the same signs he's been showing the last couple of games. So I think it was crying out for someone like him. And I think Højbjerg, as much as we all love him and what he does and what he means to the team and the squad and his fight and his passion, I think today it just wasn't the right match for him personally. I think we just need that. And I think if you haven't got anyone available like a Lo Celso or like whoever, and we know Lo Celso, even me personally, I prefer him gone, because I don't think we're ever going to get half a season out of him because he's always injured and he only cares about Argentina by the looks of it. Um, yeah, I think we need, and if the Ballet goes and Dele Alli goes, we're going to need another creative midfielder. So for me, that's top of the list in January, but I just can't see us going for one. I think, well, what it looks like, they want to go for a centre back and a right wing back. Now, right wing back, I agree with. I think we do need another right wing back, but I think the central midfield is even more key right now. I think they're the two key positions I'd go for. And I'd go central midfielder, right wing back, and then a striker if we're going to go for people this window. But yeah, we'll see what happens really.
So, Danny, what was your thoughts on Emerson today? You mentioned about the right wing back.
Yeah, I've been kind of sticking up for Emerson lately, right? Because he is young. He is young. He's 22 years old. He's what? He's a little bit older than Skip. He's the same age as Tanganga. He's just come in from New League. He's his second manager in a season, right? He's playing a different role as well. But again, it's the same thing with Emerson. It's his crossing. His crossing was just shit basically. It's fucking shit. I mean, he didn't. I don't think I saw one successful cross the whole game. And the amount of times he got into those positions, you're just hoping he can put at least one good ball in, but he didn't do that. And the thing is, I know Aurier had this problem as well. People will forget this. Yeah, Aurier used to do this all the time. He used to have these games where he had so many chances going forward, and he actually might sometimes put one good ball in for the whole game, and it could be a ball that leads up to a goal or a great opportunity. But today Emerson's crossing was shocking, to be honest, and yeah, he needs to really work on that. I think Conte hopefully should see that and knows that that's the biggest part of his game he needs to improve on. Because I think if he can work on his crossing, get better at crossing, you're going to have a very good young player there who's got a lot of potential because he's got everything else. It's just the crossing he's awful at. And I guarantee you, if his crossing was better, none of us here would be sitting here talking about Emerson or discussing he's a bad player, we need someone else. Or but look, with Emerson, he does need competition because I think in any top squad, if you want to build a top squad, you need two good players in each position and not just one good one shit one. You need two good players. And he needs someone to compete with because at the moment Doherty's not competition for him. Let's be honest, like Doherty
It'd be an upgrade to say he'd be the
yeah,
shit one, wouldn't
yeah.
it?
I mean, you got a Rock that could probably do more than what Doherty could do, like for us. Do you know what I mean? So for Emerson, it's like he knows no matter what he's gonna play. So he needs someone who is gonna. He needs someone who's similar kind of to him, but who's a better crosser of the ball. Maybe I don't know if there's players out there who's like a fast kind of like right wing back, kind of like the Kyle Walker mold, or who we could possibly get. Maybe a Lamptey, someone like that. Maybe I don't know, but he has his issues as well, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see who we get. But we need someone who can cross the ball. Put it that way. If we can get someone who can cross the ball and who's not too old as well, I think that would be someone probably perfect. We need to compete with Emerson.
Okay, and now obviously you mentioned his name beforehand. We'll talk about him now, Mr. Harry Kane.
Yeah, I think Harry Kane was brilliant today. I think the only thing he was missing was the goal. And I know what David Harris feels about Harry Kane. I know what a lot of other people feel about Harry Kane, and I know me and you, Daigle, how we felt about Harry Kane at the beginning of the season. Right? We were saying how look, we don't want a player who doesn't want to be at the club, and at the time, the way he was at the beginning of the season, his attitude, his body language, his way he was in the games, his effort levels, they weren't there, they were non-existent, right? Even though he was trying a bit, he just wasn't enough, like the usual Harry Kane kind of like drive and determination and desire that you see from him. But I was always saying, and I stated this in the beginning of the season, this guy's still going to score 15 goals or so a season, right? Regardless of how he was doing at the time. And as soon as Conte came in, that was it. Harry Kane was like he's like a new man, basically. He found his motivation, he found his belief again, he found his drive, he's found his love for the club again, because he felt that there's something going on and something happening here now. There's ambition. They're bringing in one of the best managers, elite managers in the world right now in his prime. I mean, how can you not want to play for a manager like that? How can that not motivate you to get up and go and play for the badge? I mean, I mean, I'm not no disrespect, right? But I mean, how's he going to get motivated to go and play for fucking I mean, when you play a football has no style, no tactics, no philosophy, no nothing. It's just hitting hope basically. And
Yep.
there was nothing to our football. And now you've got a manager who's got a style, he's got a philosophy, he's got a way of playing. He's got a, well, when you say a way of playing, he's got like he wants people to die for the badge. He wants people to give 100% every single time. And yeah, and I think Harry Kane can see that, and I think hopefully that the way that Conte speaks and about how the transfers and the kind of team he wants and who he can trust, I think Harry Kane knows, I think, who that is as well, because he knew before, even when he did that Gary Neville interview, he was also saying about some players might moan and they're whining and all this kind of shit, because he knows there's a load of deadwood in this team and they need to get shipped out. And yeah, I think Harry Kane, he was very good today. He showed desire. He was turning and shooting. He had a bit of the old Harry Kane today, and it was just a shame he didn't get a goal. But yeah, it's looking positive with Kane.
It's a complete 180 from when you and me saw him at Chelsea and United and Villa at home. It is a total 180. There's no doubt about it, and only positive things to come from him, thank God. And then obviously, hopefully, I'll be at the a certain NLD with you, my friend.
Yeah, that'll be good, man. I can't wait for that. That'll be brilliant.
I can't wait. I can't wait to.
Such a big game now, isn't it? I know it was great they lost today, but
game now.
That's proper chance to put daylight between it, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it was. Look, we're what 2 points behind Arsenal now, and we're 2 games in hand. We'll go like 2 points behind, or is it 2 or 3 points behind? Is it Liverpool in third now? Liverpool, if we win our games in hand, and then I mean we're catching up. Like, and the thing is, it's crazy that Conte's managing to do it with the team we have. And I know games in hand is all in hindsight and stuff, because we have to win those games. It's not like we haven't won them yet. So, but I just hope that this January we're going to see a couple players in and a couple players out, and it starts this kind of build that Conte wants to do. Yeah, I mean, we all know we need it, and there's still a lot of players in there that need to go. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do in the window, if they do any business.
With this actual momentous, great historic street day, I'm trying not to get onto that conversation, Danny. I'm trying hard, real hard, not to blow or not to bring a momentous day for them to that. But all I will say, mate, 13th of January, if we don't have a striker or a decent player in, I'll be outside the training ground on the 14th. Done deal on the 15th. And then obviously the 16th we'll be at the games, and the 17th, yep, there'll be a few there. Now, Danny, obviously, you and me and other people, another person that we've met through this channel will become absolutely as tight can be, as many others. So, your favourite moment from We Are Tottenham TV since you've been coming on the channel would be?
Do you know what? It's hard. It's very hard to pinpoint a moment, right? I think today was actually a very good moment. I think hitting the 100,000 mark, because that's quite a landmark occasion, right? And it means such a lot, because it shows how far this channel has come, and it just shows how much love and support that they have from their followers and the community. So I think for me, I'd say it's probably this one. I can't think from the top of my head of the other kind of amazing moments, because there's been so many of them. I mean, the Ajax moment was obviously amazing, and yeah, obviously seeing your rants for some of the first times on here as well, which is unbelievable.
As you know what, I must admit, Danny, I showed Phil some of the early ones from my Tottenham away when I used to go on the rants, when I used to send Levy the emails, and he got to see them for the very, very, very first time. See, they were intriguing. They were very.
I mean, yeah, it was. there was some absolute blinders in there of some of the mad rants that you've done, Daigle. So, I mean, yeah, there's been so much, and obviously seeing David Harris as well for the first time, seeing that energy and passion that he shows, and seeing him when he came on for the first time when he was having a smoke, and then he got to see him on camera, and it was just brilliant. There's everything, man. There's just so many good memories on this channel. It's just brilliant. So yeah, I wanted to say actually, yeah, absolutely what Simian, Ben, and everyone else who's helped out, and people in the back end, like Sam and everyone who has helped out. It's just unbelievable what they've done as a channel, and to obviously have so many people involved and have what they've created from this channel, like all the other channels in this community, and people have made so many friends, like me and you, Brian, and I've met Phil as well once as well, and we've met so many people from this. It's just an unbelievable community, and I don't think you could get this from any other channel that you see on YouTube, any other fan channel like Arsenal TV or Man City or wherever channel it is. There's no community like this other than Spurs community.
Well, definitely not Man City. They've got to have actual fans to have a community.
There's that as well. Yeah, that as well.
So yeah, you got that with Man City. But Danny, listen, it is always a pleasure to share a screen with you, brother. Wish Sana better, and I look forward to seeing you this week.
Yeah, all the best. Hope you get home safely.
Yeah, cheers, guys, and I'll see you soon.
See you later on, brother. Come on, you Spurs. So,
we have our last guest of the day.
We have our last guest of the day. It's been a long. I
think he might be new to the channel.
Well, let's just say how fitting is that I was last on his show just for the pre-game, and he's going to be last on this very, very special day. So I don't think this guy needs any introduction whatsoever. Danny's kind of said who it is. We all know who it is. It's the one, it's the only, it's the Irish Hotspur. Dave, how are you, brother? You're on mute. You're on mute. It's all
these experienced people.
Do you know what it is? Because we mute ourselves in the background so we're not making noise. We forget to unmute ourselves. But no, I'm absolutely buzzing. Not for the performance, but at the end of the day, we got the 3 points and we'll move on.
Exactly. That was it. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't exactly a brilliant performance to write home about, was it?
No, look, I can get the unhappiness with the performance. For fuck's sake. We don't get to enjoy much around here as Spurs fans. Just enjoy the 3 points. Look, we all gave out last week that we couldn't kill the game against Southampton and nick the game and get the 3 points. Well, we rectified that this week. Weren't at our best, but we still came and took the 3 points. At the end of the day, every championship team, every champions do it. Sometimes you don't have the best of games, but you still get out of there with a win. And that's what we've done. Conte is now 8 Premier League games unbeaten, baby. Let's have it.
That's the best record now for a new manager for Tottenham, isn't it? But absolutely, it's that momentum, isn't it? It's not 2 points dropped, whether it was lucky, fortunate, whatever. We still got the 3 points, and more importantly, we've won away from home going into a big couple of weeks.
And you know what, Finn? Look, I get the disappointment. I mean, I expect to rock up. I expect to slap Watford, get out there with the 3 points, right? Have a good game, see some goals. It didn't pan out like that. But sometimes robbing a 1-0 win at the last minute is just as good as beating them 5-0 sometimes. I mean, honestly, I feel like I should be walking around in a balaclava, to be honest with you. They defended very, very well today. At times I was counting 8-9 men in their own box. They just defended the width of their box, put one straight line across it. It was hard to penetrate. Look, in terms of the performance, not the best. I mean, I was going mad. I mean, I wanted to see urgency. I wanted to see us zip the ball around, pass it with meaning. We were too static. We weren't moving them side to side because we were so slow on the ball and playing everything in front of them. It was easy for them. All they had to do was just shift the body and move along. We didn't really put them under any pressure. But that's not Conte's fault, and that's not the players out there fault, in my opinion. Because at the end of the day, we don't have that midfielder in the team that can really do that. We can all say Ndombele, Lo Celso, this, that, and the other. But how many times do we have to keep being slapped in the face with these guys? The reason why managers won't run the gamble on them, whether starting them or bringing them off the bench, is because you don't know what you're going to get. They could turn up or they might not. So a manager's not going to roll them out. He's not going to have faith on them to do it. He's going to keep trusting the players that he has at his disposal that he thinks are with him to grind it out and get the result. And that's what they've done today. You can bet your ass off that the players in Conte will be buzzing. They know what they were offered by a long stretch. I mean, you got to credit Watford. They completely nullified Son, Lucas, and Kane today. Completely nullified them. They just cramped up that middle. They let us have the ball out wide. Emerson Reguilon's crossing today. Look, I don't think there was great crosses put in. It does show a bit of lack of quality there. But at the end of the day, you got the points, and that's all I care about. I mean, and that's all the record's going to show in future. When you look back on this at the end of the season, it's going to show a win and 3 points. It's not going to change.
Correct. Another great performance. Sanchez, another great performance. But again, we before we get on to Harry Kane, David, again, you and me need to talk because we spoke about it in your pump-up show about Harry Winks. And he may have only had a cameo, but he's doing bits on the cameo now, isn't he? He's actually, you can see what he's there to do. You can see the job that he's going to do. And you can say, do you know what? I'm building confidence to say, you can do this.
No, do you know what? Look, I want to say I've heavily criticised him. And I'm not going to apologise for absolutely nothing because I think he did deserve it. But what he has done is he's probably received my criticism, been a man about it, took it on board and come out and responded, which is exactly what I wanted and exactly what I've been criticising him for.
Yeah.
Just get out there and perform. And he's doing it. So credit where credit is due. I thought he was the best player on the pitch against Southampton. He had a worldie against Liverpool and he had a good cameo today. And it's all we ever want from players that come to this club. Too many times have we seen too many players being left hanging around, here for way too long and not performing and getting away with it. But now that we have a manager that's holding them accountable, and they will be gone if you're not doing it, he's performing. And credit to the lad. I mean, I've given him a lot of criticism, more than any other player, and I'm going to praise him. All I've ever wanted him to do was grab his bollocks and pass forward, and that's what he's doing. But at the end of the day, I also think about it. I'm a Spurs fan. I've seen Modric, Carrick, Gascoigne, reels of Glenn Hoddle. I mean, in a way, it's kind of what I expect from a Spurs player, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Do you think he was unlucky not to start today?
Yeah, very unlucky, to be fair. I thought he would have played. I thought Højbjerg would have been the one to miss out today. Rest him, get him fresh for Chelsea, because I do think you might see Skip. You might actually see the three midfield rolled out against Chelsea, Wick, Skip and Højbjerg. But I thought maybe today was an ideal opportunity to maybe rest Højbjerg and put Winks in there. Didn't happen. But again, he responded. He didn't sulk. And this is the second time he's done this. He had a world against Liverpool and was dropped, if you remember, against West Ham in the Cup. He came on and he stuck to the task, done his job, and he responded. He didn't sulk, didn't throw his toys out the pram. You didn't see the Sky Sports camera panning to him and playing up to his fans out there. He just gets on with the job. And if this is Winks' attitude going forward, I'm all for it. And this is what I want to see. And I'm glad now he's rose to my standards, and let's keep it there.
Well, this is the thing as well, David. You look at it, and you've got to think, with him not chucking his toys out the pram, as we were saying, I think it's because Conte may be saying, right, listen, you're not playing West Ham because I am starting you in Southampton. Okay, you're not starting Watford because I am starting you. And I think that bit of confidence in him knowing in advance is like, right, okay, I can understand why he's doing this. I've got something to work towards. I think one of the first things Conte said is when he came and he spoke to them all one-to-one and said, this is what my plans are for you, this is what we're going to do. And it seems to me, I think, throughout his career at Chelsea, he always would let them know, right, you're in the team, no, you're not, or and if you're not, this is when you're back in. So I think this is really having an impact on him. And you can see, like you said, the way he's doing it, as opposed to the way certain Dele Alli's done it. Winks has stood up to be counted.
No, and you've got to give him credit for that. I mean, if you looked at the two, you would have said with Dele Alli's aggressiveness and stuff like that, you probably would have backed him to be the one to stand up to the criticism and be a man about it. But look, he chose to be a baby. Winks has responded in the right way, and you've got to give him credit. Hopefully he can keep this level and even improve, keep going. Maybe he could be that passer that we're looking for right now. I still believe we're going to go into the market and bring in another midfielder. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if we have four midfielders and they all want to play and they're all playing at the top level, well, it only benefits this club. And that's what a lot of us fans have been moaning about the last few years. Players getting away with it, bitching, moaning, not performing, couldn't give a toss. But at least Winks has got himself out of that. He's responding, and I'm all for it. Let's have it, Harry Winks. I never thought I'd be saying this, but fair play to the guy.
Yeah. What was your view on Hugo today? Obviously pulled off, didn't have much to do, pulled off a worldie. Contract negotiations going on. How big a deal is that for us?
Look, for me, I don't think we've identified his replacement. I believe I was on a show maybe at the start of this season, or I think it was the start of this season, and I was saying you have to be looking for Hugo Lloris's replacement now. Even if he doesn't sign it, like worse if he doesn't sign a new contract, because you need to know who you're bringing in number one long term. But even if he does sign a new contract, you still want to be looking for his replacement. Hopefully get him in this summer to maybe work with Hugo Lloris for another year. I would definitely be offering Hugo Lloris the new contract. I mean, whatever he wants, give it to the guy. He's fully deserved it, especially since this new goalkeeping coach has come in. You've seen him improve, Hugo Lloris. He's not so much stuck to his line before, which was maybe a bit of his criticism. Shot stopping, he was always very good at, in my opinion. But sometimes he stuck to his line and he wasn't commanding his area, wasn't commanding or coming out for crosses that were coming across his 6-yard box, which wasn't helping the defense out. But now he's doing all that. And for me, look, you know, what they say with wine is the older it gets, the finer it gets. So, I mean, Hugo Lloris likes wine. He took a drinking ban for one. So give him that new contract.
I can see where you're going there. So we've discussed Harry W. We've discussed Hugo. Now let's do the trifecta of the H's and let's talk about the boy. Let's talk about your man. Let's talk about Harry Kane.
I mean, do we have to, Brian? I kind of get bored of this now, you know. At the end of the day, it's kind of like, look, I expected it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I did expect it. I knew it was going to happen. That's why I didn't blinker an eyelid when he was going through what he was going through, because I understand. I mean, Harry Kane's my best friend. We speak all the time. Barbara contacts me before the game. So I knew what he was going through, and I just knew this was. I knew it was going to come to form. I mean, I played the law of averages. I look back at his record; he was always going to score. I mean, this is a guy that has been season upon season. Someone comes out with a new take on him. He's too slow. He's this. He's that. He's ruining the whole team. It's a one-man team, and he just answered them every single season. So I knew he was going to do it again. I mean, class recognises class at the end of the day.
There you go. What a perfect analogy. Class recognises class.
You can't grumble with it, can you?
You can't.
Look,
you can't.
I do want to say, the only reason why I'm being a bit cocky with it is because I got pelters. I mean, it was practically, I felt like it was me and Sim at one stage, just the only one defending Harry Kane. But I will say, everyone was in their right to have their opinion on him. But at the end of the day, they were wrong and I was right.
Oh, yeah, no, David. I mean, as you know, and as many people on this channel will know, you and me went at it in a friendly banter way about the thing. And like we said, you and me are two of the fans that will say we're wrong when we're wrong. And Harry Kane has most definitely a 180 from when I was last here. And it's the Conte effect, and long may it continue. Long may it continue.
There's people out there that really want me to kind of maybe find the criticism with Kane. Look, maybe he had a hair out of place today. I wasn't too happy with that. No, but in all fairness, he did have that chance in the first half. I would have backed him to score it. He didn't. But look, hey, you know, another day it goes in.
Do you know what, Dave? What I will say on that, yeah, all right, he should have got in. But what I loved about that is he's got the confidence to shoot early again. I was saying on your channel when I was on with you that he seems to have been taking an extra touch because he's lost that little spark to try. He is so... like for his confidence, trying to get that extra touch to make sure it goes in. Whereas now, like the Southampton goal that was onside that got disallowed, that was Harry Kane, one touch, shoot straight away, bang, goal, see you later, bye-bye. To see him doing that again shows that confidence is coming back. It shows that he knows I shoot early, I hit the side netting more often than not. So that, I took real confidence. Yes, he should have scored it, but to see him shooting early again and getting his shots off quickly and on target like that, or it was just off target, excuse me, but to see him doing that again is wonderful to see.
Oh no, like I said, I only said that just in case there was people that wanted me to find some little fault, maybe hair out, maybe should have scored that. But look, at the end of the day, I agree with you, Brian. His sharpness is back, his confidence is back, his lean, mean hair is back. I mean, his goals are back. Harry Kane is back.
Looking fitter, isn't he?
He is.
You know what, he is. That's a good point. For the first part of the season, he looked like he was carrying a little bit extra. I mean, I know that's a bit of a push for me to say, I mean, come on, I like the Ben and Jerry's and a hot dog. But look, at the end of the day, as an athlete, I think maybe he was carrying a slight bit. He does look like he's trimmed down that little bit more. And I mean, if all people to know, it would be me. I mean, I analysed this guy to the death. I have posters of him. Sometimes my missus feels threatened. She's like, please don't leave me for Harry. You know, but look, you know, the guy's a legend. I know he didn't score today, but he'll score against Chelsea Wednesday.
And he'll score against the Filth on the 16th. So we can assure that now. David, honestly, you and me have been coming on this channel pretty much the same amount of time, haven't we? We started appearing on the channel the same sort of time. So obviously you've got on to do a lot with the show. I've been here in the studio and I've been here in England. So we've had some wonderful memories and wonderful things. anything you want to say to the boys, obviously, and favourite memory?
Do you know what? First of all, I want to say, anyone that doesn't know these boys personally, I mean, or haven't had the privilege of getting to the studio, it is a rare privilege. Let's be honest about it. These boys work incredibly hard. Incredibly hard. I mean, the setup they done for the Carabao Cup final that time I went over, which may I add, and I know the boys probably might be a bit embarrassed me saying this, but you know they paid for mine and Matty flights over there to get over there to host a watch along and the setup. I mean, they were working all that day, all the way till late that night, and then we're down there first thing that morning. The amount of work that goes in off the camera that people don't see, and I mean, there's no two better men to get that 100K. They constantly pump out day after day, video after video to keep us entertained. And I know I'm a bit of a goof and a bit of a clown. I'm probably going to go a bit soppy here, but, you know, in a way, I feel like I have them to thank because what they did do is they've offered me a whole new life that I never knew existed. A lot more friends, being part of a community. They completely changed my life during the lockdown from just rolling out of bed onto the couch, back to bed. They gave me a purpose. They gave me a platform, you know what I mean, which ultimately ended up breeding the birth of the Irish Hotspur. And I mean, the reception I've got from there, and they even came on my channel. I didn't even have 200 subscribers, you know. The two boys are absolute gentlemen. And I couldn't think of anybody better to reach the 100K. And now let's get to 1 million. That's next.
Oh, big time. Big time. What's your favorite? Yeah.
Yeah, look, I have a few, to be honest with you. The Lucas Moura Ajax one is definitely a highlight. I really love the Rabona, the one against Arsenal. You see the two boys grabbing each other. I mean, Ben was reaching pitches I didn't even think were possible. He was screaming. Absolutely loved that. Then, of course, there was me having a smoke in the background, getting caught. That was a good one. I enjoyed that. And look, all the people you see come on, all the different people, yourself, Daigle, all the rants you go on, absolutely love them. You know what I mean? The likes of seeing Phil Lettice come in, you have Jory, and I mean, there's so many more people along the way. Cody Mac, Will Stewart, Jack Kinnicky, there's more, loads more, everybody. The way they all come on and the community that they've started. You know, I think that's the biggest thing that they should be proud of. You know, they produce a great channel, the best out of every single Spurs channel there is. But what they really should be proud of is the people they've brought together and the community that they have created. It's phenomenal. And like I said, they've changed my life completely. And I have nothing but gratitude and thanks to these two boys and the opportunity they gave me on the pre-match pump-up when there were so many out there they could have picked up. Obviously, they came to the goal, but they could have picked so many other people. But, you know, honestly, truly humbled for them. And to get me over there in and around the action. I know I didn't get to go into Wembley, but to be up there in and around the action and being there with fans for a Carabao Cup final, I'll never forget. I mean, it's a dream from a boy like me from Ireland who doesn't get to go to many games.
David, I couldn't have said that any better myself. And obviously, it's been a blessing to meet you. I still haven't met you face to face, but we're going to have to make this happen. We'll make this happen. Well, I don't care what we've got to do, we'll make it happen. But David, it is always a pleasure to share any time with you, let alone on the stream or anything, mate. So we will catch up very soon.
Yeah.
And we'll get you on Tottenham on tour soon. And obviously, I'll come on your show very, very soon. I'm here till the 23rd. We'll make it happen.
No, 100%. And just before I go, I know people are sick of listening to my whiny Irish accent. I get it. But just before I go, I want to say to people, the We Are Tottenham TV Army, thank you so much for the way you have received every guest that has come on this channel, received me on the pre-match pump-up, Daigle, who features regularly now, and everybody else. It's been incredible because you guys really give us the confidence to kind of push on, keep coming on and everything else. It's never once been toxic. And again, you know, gratitude to the boys for that, but to the followers of the channel as well, big yourselves up because you know, you're the ones that really keep these channels going. If people don't watch, you don't have the motivation to be doing or pumping out the content. So the followers need to take a lot of credit for today. But it's a great day for Tottenham, a great day for We Are Tottenham TV. 100K, now to 1 million. Let's make it happen.
1 billion%, David. And on that note, I'm going to let you go. And we will speak in the next couple of days, brother. But thanks, David.
Great to see you, Dave.
I'll see you. Great job today.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so that was the fan show. Phil, it's been a pleasure doing it with you, buddy.
And you. Thank you.
Sam, it's been a pleasure doing it with you, mate. And watching the result, unfortunately, you didn't get the one you wanted. We got the one we wanted. But like David Harris was just saying at the end, everyone in the chat, thanks for your support, not just of this channel, but of me and Phil today. It's been great spending New Year's Day with you. In the comments on YouTube, as many of you put your favourite memories of your time that we've been in the chat watching We Are Tottenham TV, I'm sure Ben and Sim would love nothing more than to see them. Congratulations once again on 100,000. Spurs win 1-0. It's New Year's Day. All I can say is like, share, comment, subscribe, and as always, come on you Spurs.